My daily life in a TV series. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 401 Flexible Neck, Medical Center. Ward. As the patient Mr. Dean uttered sweet words, the cries of the son of the beach continued to echo. Everyone smiled. What a spirit. There is absolutely no problem with his brain function. Someone said before that it would be better to let him go. If you hear this, you will probably understand whether he really wants to leave or not. Liz teased. How can he leave without cursing in front of him when he encounters such a thing? Meredith smiled and said, maybe it was this tone that kept him going until the end. This is the first time I think cursing sounds so pleasant. George murmured. It's normal, Christina said, because here, it is the sound of life and the language of the soul. Where is that bastard? After a long venting, Mr. Dean was calmed down and accepted further examination by Adam, but he still couldn't forget the angry man. He is still in the operating room waiting for his son to decide whether to save him. Liz spoke quickly and told the story. Mr. Dean was stunned and cursed angrily. It serves him right. If it's your opinion, why do you want to harm his son? Even if he is saved, he will spend the rest of his life in prison, because I will sue him for premeditated murder. On the highway, he ran wildly and tried to chase and hit other people's vehicles, causing car accidents. It was indeed premeditated murder. Adam didn't say much, but just examined carefully, appearing to be unusually low-key. The duty of a doctor is to cure diseases and save lives. It's best not to get involved in other things, because once you have a tendency and say a few words, the probability of being hated and retaliated by the opposing party is very high. Even if it doesn't reach that level, there are too many such things in the hospital. It's completely unnecessary to waste time and energy on this. What belongs to God belongs to God, and what belongs to Caesar belongs to Caesar. Is it premeditated murder? The judge has the final say. Beep, beep. Liz picked up the pager on her waist, looked at it, said a word, and hurried away. Scotty decided to donate his liver to save his father. Christina followed. She was in charge of the wife of the perpetrator. Everyone dispersed, each with their own things to do. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Adam suddenly received a call from Rachel. Of course. What's wrong with the baby? Faced with Rachel asking him to help book an obstetrician and gynecologist for an examination and to keep it secret from Leonard, Adam agreed and asked with concern. Because of the normal procedure, Rachel should go to her family doctor for routine examinations. Only when the family doctor feels that he can't handle it will he suggest her to go to a large hospital. It's okay, nothing is wrong. On the other end of the phone, Rachel hurriedly explained. It's just that those obstetricians and gynecologists are not very friendly. You can come now. Can you do it by yourself? Okay, be careful. Call me when you get there. After hanging up the phone, Adam's mouth twitched. Several obstetricians and gynecologists are not friendly. AKA Rachel herself is not very friendly, but it is normal for pregnant women to have a bad temper. Rachel came over quickly. She was 4 months pregnant. Her belly was slightly bulging. Adam smiled and greeted her. Rachel. Adam. When Rachel saw Adam, her eyes lit up and she opened her hands directly. Adam had no choice but to hug her. But then he found something wrong. Rachel had no intention of letting go, and there seemed to be some abnormal sounds coming out of her nose. Ahem. Adam coughed lightly and reminded. Okay, Rachel, don't crush the baby. It's okay. The doctor said to be careful. Rachel said subconsciously, with full of connotation. Adam's mouth twitched. He seemed to guess why those obstetricians and gynecologists were so unfriendly. Seeing that it was so embarrassing, Rachel still didn't let go, and Adam had to use his killer move. Rachel, if you keep holding like this, Leonard will come. Ah! Rachel was startled, and quickly opened her eyes, let go of Adam, and looked left and right. What's going on? Adam asked. What's going on? Rachel's eyes evaded. Several obstetricians and gynecologists are unfriendly. Adam decided to ask clearly. Otherwise, when he introduced Rachel to the obstetrician and gynecologist, if something embarrassing happened, it would be really embarrassing. Well, Rachel still wanted to cover it up, But when she turned her head, Adam followed. She turned her head again, and Adam followed immediately. After her neck was almost twisted, it was finally defeated by Adam's 360-degree flexible neck, and met Adam's eyes that urged you to be honest. Okay, I'm 4 months pregnant, and I've been feeling special recently. I want to. Are those obstetricians and gynecologists all male doctors? Adam interrupted. Yeah, they are all handsome male doctors. Rachel's eyes immediately became a little blurry. I see, this is normal. It's because of the surge of hormones. Adam didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Ah, you are a doctor, you can understand, right? Rachel breathed a sigh of relief and was overjoyed. I feel like spring is coming everywhere I look recently. Last weekend I went to every store and sat on the legs of every model wearing a cartoon costume. Then I went to see an obstetrician and gynecologist, and every one of them made me want to tune the piano with them uncontrollably. Then you were kicked out by them, right? Adam laughed. Rachel said angrily, don't I have any attraction to them? So heartless. You are a patient, and a pregnant woman, and they are doctors. Adam said speechlessly, what else do you want from them? Okay, let's not talk about them. Rachel shook her head, reached out to hold Adam's hand, and looked at Adam with an ambiguous smile. So, how are you doing? Adam was sure that Rachel's hormones were completely out of control. Oh, Rachel screamed in pain. Adam, what are you doing? Let me wake you up. You are Rachel, not Joey. Adam pinched Rachel's hand away. If you are like this, how can I introduce an obstetrician and gynecologist to you? Not only male doctors, but now I feel unsafe with female doctors. I don't want to either. Rachel did not refute, and said aggrievedly, it's all the fault of hormones. You are my good friend and a doctor, you should help me. Like Phoebe, although what she did was unreliable, she really took the initiative to do it. What did she do? Adam asked curiously. She found a 40-year-old beast and sent him to my apartment, so that I could prescribe the right medicine, Rachel said. Then what? Adam was stunned. Of course I kicked him out, Rachel said unhappily. I didn't even know him, and he was too ugly. I'm not such a casual woman. I'm not suitable to find a boyfriend now, and I don't want to find one. I just want a wonderful night now, without any ties, as long as it's indescribable, to be with the person I like, who knows how to grasp the limit. It's that simple. At this point, she stared at Adam. So, Adam, let me ask you, how are you doing? Adam. Chapter 402, Chilled and Uplifted. Art comes from life. Adam now has a deeper understanding of this sentence. A pretty pregnant woman asked him the classic pink words with seductive eyes. This plot is very artistic, but unfortunately Adam is not that kind. Sorry, Rachel. Adam shook his head and said, I'm fine. My love life is very stable. I can't help you in this regard. Really? Rachel didn't believe it. Of course it's true. Adam nodded affirmatively. From Monday to Saturday, he mostly communicated with Bianca in private about medical skills. Now Alice strongly asked to join with practical actions. On Sunday, he provided enough inspiration for Peggy. At the end of the month, Heather, who flew from Texas, was either in New York or in Boston to meet with good friends Juno and Karen. Occasionally, Max would ask him about the plot of Peppa Pig. When it came to charity, Carolyn also enthusiastically invited him to Ellis Manor to guide the work. His love life is really stable. That's why he doesn't want to get into trouble for a little temptation. Rachel said that she only wanted the indescribable. But Adam didn't believe her at all, because Alice's previous experience is there. Rachel is not a child. She doesn't need to make choices. She will definitely want everything when the time comes. Adam doesn't want to be the father of Ross's child. Besides, he and the child's parents are good friends, so naturally he doesn't want to hurt the child at all, even if it's unintentional. The light in Rachel's eyes dimmed suddenly. Where is the child's father? Adam changed the subject and said, he caused the trouble. What is he doing? Because the doctor's work is too busy. He has rarely contacted Chandler and others recently, let alone Ross, so he only knows that Rachel and Ross are unwilling to get married. Leonard failed to force the marriage, and could only watch his first grandson being an illegitimate child. Leonard scolded Ross as a bastard in front of Adam more than once. I asked him, Rachel said unhappily. He and that Monroe are having a hot relationship. and now they are sending holiday postcards together. No way. Adam was surprised. How long have they been dating? It's come to this. In the United States, there are very clear boundaries for the relationship between men and women. On the first date, when you say goodbye, kiss goodbye. On the second date, you can talk about more in-depth topics and have more intimate contact. The third date is the recognized home run time. After that, spend some time together, and then decide whether you want to take it a step further, that is, officially establish a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Then, live together, get engaged, get married, divorce, remarry, divorce, remarry. It's like a long list of titles before the breakthrough of the realm of immortal cultivation, such as the initial stage, middle stage, late stage, peak, perfection, great perfection, half step, etc. Before the relationship is confirmed to live together, there are also many small stages. For example, meeting each other's friends. For example, sending holiday cards in the name of both parties. This is a very obvious symbol. It's only been more than 2 months. Rachel complained. Did that Minra bring it up? Adam laughed. Of course she brought it up, Rachel said contemptuously. Ross was almost scared to death, and he spoke incoherently about the stage of his relationship. In a sweat, he gave his apartment key to Minra on impulse. Haha. Adam smiled. They were originally in a cohabitation relationship, but now they are heading towards cohabitation. Do you know what the funniest thing is? Rachel complained about Ross, the culprit who got her pregnant, in a sharp and refreshing way, and even suppressed the hormones that were about to overflow at any time. The key he gave was his only one. After giving it to him, it did help him get away with it, but he was also homeless. Haha. Adam couldn't help laughing out loud. Ross is really good. They are both innocent boys who turned into scumbags. Look at Ted. He really coaxed his girlfriend to forget everything. Even his ex-girlfriend who was dumped on her birthday in front of all her relatives and friends was left a message on the phone, and Ted was able to coax her back, and then dump her on her birthday. What level is this? Ross was scared like this by his girlfriend's words. What stage are we at now? He is not talented. No wonder he was completely treated as a tool by his lesbian ex-wife, and now he has to help raise the son of a pair of lesbian wives, and even bought a US soldier toy for his son and was scolded by them. What? Your son can't play with Barbie dolls? What are you worried about? Do you look down on us? That's not all. There's something funnier. Rachel got even more excited. In order to get into the apartment, he had to find someone to change the locks. While he was changing the locks, Minra came over. Oh, this is too miserable. Adam could imagine Ross's embarrassed face at that time. It's still not the limit. There's something funnier. Rachel laughed, faced with Minra's questioning. Ross was confused again. He had no choice but to say I love you, which he didn't want to say the most, and took their relationship one step closer. Americans are very cautious about the 3 words I love you. Generally, they say this after living together and before they want to get engaged. Once they say it, the relationship will either go forward or backward. For example, Leonard suddenly said this to Penny one night. For example, when Ted first met Robin, he blurted out this sentence: I guess this is not the end, right? Adam laughed. Ha ha ha. Yes. Rachel held her waist with her belly sticking out. Do you know why he said this? Because he asked us for advice before, and we suggested that he say this. He didn't want to say it at all. He just wanted to say that he loved being with her. One is I love you, the other is I love being with you. The meanings are completely different. Monica told him not to say this. Rachel continued to say happily, because for a woman, when she wants to take a step closer, you say this to her, and it's no different from slapping her in the face. Then what? Adam had to step forward to support her and asked in cooperation. The funniest thing happened. Rachel covered her mouth with her hand, and stopped laughing for a long time, saying, when he was forced to say I love you with a forced smile, Minra's response was I love being with you too. Can you imagine Ross's reaction at that time? He was completely self-indulgent. Ha ha ha. This is just like you didn't have any feelings for a person at first, but others kept saying it. As you talk, you really feel it, and then you confess, but you find that you have completely thought too much. TSK. That feeling was really chilling and heart-wrenching. Are you feeling better? Adam smiled. Yes. Rachel stopped laughing and said unhappily, do you think I'm like that all the time? I can definitely control it this time. I believe you. Adam nodded, but still decided to take her to see a female obstetrician and gynecologist. Well, she has to be not very good looking. P.S. Thanks to Tang Sang-Hu, book friend 20181109191919166658, and Yizu's Haitian for their rewards. Chapter 403, Terrifying Thoughts, Medical Center. Adam took Rachel to the obstetrician and gynecologist and came out first. Go to 8th Avenue, there's a specialty store there. Yes. What color? Whatever, according to your preference. Remember to pack it well, it can't be seen from the outside. Well, hurry up. After hanging up the phone with assistant Seda and Lisa and dental man number 3, Adam shook his head and said to himself, it's only in the world of American TV series, otherwise I would be beaten to death. But if you have a disease, you have to treat it, and you have to treat it with the right medicine. Rachel, be glad that you have a friend like me, not to mention Adam here. Over there, the organ donor from Wick's Hospital was sent over. George was responsible for receiving it. Have you contacted the family? I have contacted them. It will take more than an hour for them to arrive. Do they want me to call you when they arrive? Nurse Olivia said expressionlessly. That's right. It was the nurse who had an affair with Alex first and then passed the aphrodisiac to George. Although it was embarrassing, they were colleagues and would see each other sooner or later. There will always be such moments. As for why the nurse Olivia who made the mistake had a stern face, because nurse Olivia was too modest, and then expressed to George again that she wanted to continue, but was ignored by George in public. Okay, do the family members know the current situation? George asked casually while checking the organ donor. This organ donor was brain dead, and his heart and other organs were normal. Because he signed an organ donation agreement before his death, he was sent here directly to be harvested for multiple organs including the heart, and transplanted to 6 patients in 3 states. George did a routine check and then announced the time of death. I only know that we are still rescuing him. Nurse Olivia obviously had no interest in the patient. She perfunctorily said something and turned the topic back to them, saying meaningfully, I think it's better to know the bad news at the beginning, so that we can look forward better. What do you think, George? George still pretended not to understand and pressed his fist on the patient's chest, not expecting any reaction. But something happened that surprised him. The patient who was declared brain dead actually moved because of his actions. Did you see that? George looked at Nurse Olivia. Seeing that she didn't react, he put his fist on the patient's chest again. The patient, who should have been brain dead and had no reaction to this, moved again. Her brain has an involuntary reaction. Her brain stem is still active. She can't be completely brain dead. We've taken over here. Thank you. At this time, the doctor in charge of the removal surgery came over with his assistant. George explained the matter and demonstrated it. Maybe it was overlooked. The doctor in charge of the removal surgery said indifferently, but if the cerebral cortex dies, the brain stem will also die, so death is a matter of sooner or later. Of course, we will wait first, but don't you think? George wanted to say that she might be able to be rescued again, but was interrupted by the middle-aged doctor. When she arrived in the operating room, she was already dead. George stood there, watching the patient who was not completely brain dead being pushed away by them. He was stunned for a moment and muttered, but she is still alive now. No, it shouldn't be like this. Adam worked hard for more than an hour to save a patient, and this is how he created a miracle of life. I know that the patient is not completely brain dead, but I watched her being pushed into the operating room to remove all her organs. No, George thought so in his heart, but he couldn't catch up with them. The other party was a senior doctor. What did he, an intern, say? The other party blocked him there with just a few words. What can he do if he catches up? For a moment, George fell into a great psychological conflict, and sweat appeared on his fat forehead. Adam. Suddenly, he saw a familiar figure in his peripheral vision and shouted immediately, "What's wrong?" Adam heard George calling him and looked over immediately. "Come here." George waved desperately. Adam was startled and ran over at full speed. In the hospital, Speed is life in many cases. Running is the norm. If he were to say, "Why do you do run, brother? You should just do run." "Doctor," George quickly explained the matter. "Are you sure?" Adam stared into George's eyes. "I'm sure." George nodded. What he said is true. Nurse Olivia didn't care to give George a cold shoulder and agreed. "Okay, George, go find Dr. Shept right away. I'll stop them." Adam gave instructions and quickly chased after him. A patient who was not completely brain dead and might still be saved was directly treated as brain dead and pushed into the operating room to remove her organs. Just because she signed an organ donation agreement before her death? Just because she wanted to do a good deed? Why didn't she try her best to save her? Was there no other way? Or did she not want to do it, so she deliberately ignored these obvious physiological signals? As for why, 6 patients in 3 states are waiting for her organs. This is simply terrifying, isn't it? Wait a minute. Adam stopped them. "Do you mind if I check it?" "Mind." The middle-aged doctor in charge of the removal surgery knew that Adam was George's helper as soon as he saw Adam coming over. If it was another attending doctor, he would certainly not say anything. But Adam saw that he was just an intern. "What are you doing?" The middle-aged doctor, who signaled his assistant to continue pushing the bed to the operating room, found that Adam had hooked his feet on the wheel of the bed and looked at Adam in disbelief. "I want to check it." Adam leaned over to check. As George said, the patient still had brain nerve reactions and was not completely brain dead. "Don't make a fuss. She is indeed moving, but she has fallen into a near-irreversible coma. Dr. Hans from Wick's Hospital has already checked her." The middle-aged doctor sneered. "But don't worry, we will wait for her to die in the operating room. We know the process." "But Dr. Shept hasn't checked yet." Adam still blocked the wheel and said lightly, "We have called him. He is the attending physician of neurosurgery in our medical center. Since you want to perform the removal surgery in our hospital, you must wait for Dr. Shept's confirmation." Dr. Hans may have overlooked something. After all, he is just a doctor, not God. "I will complain to your hospital about you." The middle-aged doctor stared at Adam. "My name is Adam Duncan." Adam did not avoid it and looked at him quietly. The scene suddenly froze there, until George led Dr. Shept to hurry over. "Excuse me, I'm Derek Shept, the attending neurosurgeon. Do you mind if I check you?" Dr. Shept nodded to Adam, glanced at the middle-aged doctor, and said so. But before the middle-aged doctor could answer, he leaned over to check. The middle-aged doctor, P.S. Thanks to Can I Feel Long for the reward. Chapter 404, Escape from the Death Town, Medical Center. The middle-aged doctor felt offended. But it didn't matter. Dr. Shept checked the patient's pupils, tested her reaction to the outside world, picked up the medical records on the trolley and glanced at them. "She has a tumor in her brain stem, right? I didn't see an MRI, and an EEG is needed to confirm brain death." "Yes, Dr. Hans said he did it," the middle-aged doctor argued. But his tone was not so tough. "Talk to people in different ways. This is a basic survival skill." "I don't know Dr. Hans." Dr. Shept interrupted. "The involuntary reaction of the brain has been ignored, and God knows what else has been ignored. There are 6 patients in 3 states waiting for this woman's organs." The middle-aged doctor reminded. "If the organs came from a brain-dead person, they would be very happy. But she is not dead yet." Dr. Shept sneered. "No one is allowed to touch her while she is still alive." The middle-aged doctor stopped pretending and came clean. He wanted to wait until the patient died completely, because once the patient is resuscitated, not only will his removal surgery be over, but his friend Dr. Hans may also be in trouble. After all, Dr. Hans didn't even do an MRI, and ignored the patient's involuntary brain reaction, and directly declared the patient brain dead. It will definitely be a big trouble if the family members pursue it later. And as long as they drag it out and don't let others move, the patient won't be able to hold on for long. As long as she is completely brain dead, there is nothing wrong with their approach. Because you can't prove that she can be resuscitated, then this matter will probably be over. "Any questions?" George led Dr. Burke over. Adam had noticed that the middle-aged doctor was going to delay, and after George came back, he signaled him to find Dr. Burke. As the acting chief of surgery, Dr. Burke now has absolute decision-making power in surgery. "This donor is not completely brain dead yet. I want to do an MRI and EEG for her." Dr. Shept explained. That's a waste of time. The middle-aged doctor made his last struggle. I insist on doing it, Dr. Shept said firmly. You insist? Dr. Burke flipped through the medical records and glanced at him. Yes, Dr. Shept nodded. If my top neurosurgeon says he needs an MRI and EEG, then he can do it. Dr. Burke closed the medical records and made the final decision. But we still have patients. The middle-aged doctor felt that he could still save a wave. I can't control it. Dr. Burke interrupted him directly, put his hands on his hips and said, who the organs go to is the business of the organ sharing center. Who donates organs is her and her family's business. There is a person waiting for a liver in my operating room. That person may not be worth saving, but I can't control it. Then what can I control? Everything else. Faced with such domineering words, the middle-aged doctor completely gave up resistance. It's not that his brother is not strong enough. The patient is left to you, Dr. Shept. Thank you, Dr. Burke. Dr. Burke was very satisfied with the helpless silence of the middle-aged doctor and the gratitude of his competitor. This is the taste of power, far beyond everything. This reminded him of what the wife of Richard, the chief surgeon, said to him when she came to pack up her husband's things and moved him home temporarily to recuperate. I hope he is forced to retire. This is attractive to you, right? We all hope so. This job is suitable for you, Preston. You are independent and a workaholic. The hospital and this job are enough for you, right? He did not answer Richard's wife, but the answer was obviously yes. Dr. Duncan, are you willing to assist with the MRI? Dr. Shept glanced at Adam and George. Of course. Adam nodded. Mr. Dean was not brain dead, but now he encountered a case that was almost brain dead. It was a God-given learning opportunity. George was a little sad, but he had no doubts. Although he took over and went to Adam, Dr. Shept and Dr. Burke, it was Adam and them who really played a decisive role. He was timid after all. At this time, a medical record came into view. O'Malley, you come too. Dr. Shept handed him the medical record and patted him on the shoulder. Yes. George couldn't help but be happy. What could be more exciting than the affirmation of a superior doctor? Adam smiled beside him. He understood this feeling very well. Just like in his previous life, when he wrote online novels, he cared more about the editor than his girlfriend. He didn't dare to disturb her unless there was a problem. Even if there was a problem, he was very cautious. Is she there? Let's wait until 9 o'clock to send it. No, let's wait until 10 o'clock. Don't disturb her. What should I say? Why didn't she reply? Should I send it again? Why didn't she reply? Ah, she replied. She replied. She replied. Although she is aloof, she is really a good editor. She is so humble. MRI room. Did you see the tumor on her brainstem? Dr. Shept laughed. It looks terrible. George stared at the MRI film. But her brain is really alive and can be treated. Adam said. Yes, as long as the tumor is removed, she has a great chance of recovery. Dr. Shept nodded with a smile and looked at the organ removal team standing aside and waiting. You can go back. Only I can operate on her today. The middle-aged doctor team carried the freezers one by one helplessly and left. Dr. Duncan, you don't seem very happy? Dr. Shept noticed that Adam's face was still serious. No, I'm very happy for her. Adam shook his head. I'm just thinking about a question. What question? George blurted out. Will she tear up the organ donation agreement immediately after she wakes up? Adam sighed. Dr. Shept and George were both stunned. And then the smiles on their faces disappeared. Those who are willing to donate organs are theoretically good people. The organs they donate can save thousands of patients who are suffering from pain and the threat of death. It is a great altruistic act, but once you sign an agreement to donate organs after death, the risk of death will increase exponentially for some unspeakable reasons. And if this kind of shit happens again and again, will anyone be willing to donate organs? Obstetrics and gynecology. Rachel finished the examination. What did the doctor say? Adam asked. Everything is fine. Rachel smiled and said, what is this? A gift for you. Adam handed a wrapped gift box to Rachel. Treat the right medicine for the disease. Get well soon. Rachel took out the note and read the blessing Adam wrote on it. Oh, thank you, Adam. You're welcome. Adam said seriously. I hope you like it. I definitely like it. Rachel fiddled with the gift box and asked, what is it? It's more surprising to open it yourself when you go back. Adam hurriedly stopped her. "Give me a hint." Rachel shook the gift box. "What color is it?" Adam's mouth twitched, and he said uncertainly, "Black." He didn't buy it. Of course he didn't know, but as a Bachelor of Psychology, he has read many psychology monographs, and he made a reasonable guess about Tool Man number 3's instruction of buy according to your preferences. After all, get out, learn about it. P.S. Thanks to the book friends 202005100229299734, Pandoragong _zong eng, Ujsui Nai An, and Rest for their rewards. I have something to do today, so there is only one update at noon. I will code as soon as possible after I go back in the afternoon, and try to ensure 3 updates today. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 405. This doctor's profile is so handsome. Ward. Sending off the joyful Rachel, before operating on the female patient who was nearly killed by a brainstem tumor, Adam went to see Mr. Dean. "How do you feel?" "Very good." Mr. Dean leaned there, holding a pen and paper in his hand, and seemed to be drawing something. When he saw Adam come in, he put down the pen and paper, looked at Adam, and thanked him sincerely. "Dr. Duncan, I know everything. I am so grateful to you. You saved my life." "You are welcome. This is what we doctors should do." Adam smiled. "This is the truth. The plus 0.01 prompt in the system is enough, not to mention the significant improvement in the hospital's influence." Mr. Dean is drawing the scene where Dr. Duncan rescued him. The nurse couldn't help but remind him. "Oh?" Adam couldn't help but look at the pen and paper on Mr. Dean's lap. "I like to draw a few strokes in my hobby." Mr. Dean smiled and said, "When I heard the thrilling story that happened to me, I had a strong urge to draw it." "Can I see it?" Adam asked. "Of course." Mr. Dean handed the drawing paper to Adam. "It's a great painting," Adam exclaimed. "It's because of the different education they received since childhood. Any amateur painting enthusiast can actually reach such a level. Of course, it may also be related to the near-death experience." The improvement of his state of mind made the painting full of appeal. The profile of the doctor in the painting is so handsome. "Dr. Duncan, I hope you can accept this painting when the time comes," Mr. Dean said. "This." Adam hesitated. "Dr. Duncan, Mr. Dean is not a professional painter. He has never sold his paintings. They are just small gifts." "It's okay." The nurse actively dispelled Adam's concerns. "American doctors are also not allowed to accept bribes. At least not openly. Otherwise, it's like allowing teachers to run cram schools. Once it is relaxed, most teachers will keep some of the most important knowledge in their own cram schools. Then students who don't pay to enter his cram school will not be able to keep up. The same is true for doctors. Once it is relaxed, if you don't give enough benefits, the doctor will definitely not be attentive when treating you. Some people without medical ethics even killed people who could have been saved. Once this rumor spread, who dared to have surgery without a big gift? I'm afraid that doctors with real consciences would have no choice but to accept this. It would be a vicious cycle. Thank you very much." Adam thought about it and didn't refuse this kindness. This painting was just a casual work of an amateur. It was not a high-value gift. It also depicted the scene of Adam saving him. There was no problem accepting it. When Adam became his own attending physician and opened his own clinic, this painting could be placed in the clinic as an honor for Adam. This is also a routine operation of American doctors. When they meet celebrities, they will ask for autographs and take photos. Doctors with less integrity will secretly ask celebrity patients to sign without being too personal. For example, only sign and thank you on celebrity photos, books, and CDs, but don't write to Dr. Duncan or something like that. Celebrity patients also understand that the doctor is going to sell it online. Generally, they will not refuse. There are also some weird doctors who will collect the things that come out of the patient's stomach. For example, the doctor who performed surgery on Steve Jobs in The Big Bang Theory kept Jobs' gallstones as a precious collection, which made Leonard and others envious. There are also patients who like to swallow all kinds of things, and the doctors take these things out of their rectums, or directly put all kinds of things into their rectums and take them out of their rectums. Doctors will put these things in a basket at the nurse's station. This basket has a name, butt basket. People who don't know will take a few good-looking and valuable ones away. Bald Chris has done such a weird thing. When he got closer to Kara, a nurse in the internal medicine department, in order to show his sincerity, Kara asked him to choose a gift that could represent his understanding of her. But he was originally bald, and even if he scratched his head, he could only think of sending flowers, chocolates, and other gifts that were unoriginal and unpersonal. There was no way, so he could only find an expert, and there happened to be one next to him, Adam. Adam did not live up to his trust and said the gift he should give: a beautiful pen. Because Kara likes to write, all her letters are handwritten, and she thinks it is more humane. The idea is indeed good. It turns out that Kara really loves this gift. She said on the spot that since Bald Chris touched her soul, she should not treat her as a human tonight. Come on, you're welcome. But Bald Chris was so busy that he forgot about it after thinking about it. When the time agreed by Kara came, he remembered that he hadn't bought it yet, and then he saw a very beautiful pen in the basket at the nurse's station. He didn't know about this tradition and thought it was a lost and found basket, so he asked the nurse if he could use it for emergency. The nurses loved to tease these rookie doctors the most, so they naturally wouldn't tell him the truth and nodded with a smile. So he gave this very beautiful but very interesting pen to his girlfriend as a gift. Afterwards, God can be a girl, and Buddha can be African. After checking the room and knowing that there was no problem with Mr. Dean's physical data, Adam went to the operating room with the joy of receiving such a gift for the first time. Duncan, O'Malley, come with me to meet the patient's family, Dr. Shept reminded. Remember, don't mention that she was not rescued and was sent directly to the operating room for organ removal. Why? George, who had a sense of justice, shouted immediately. The patient only needs to know that we are doing our best to rescue her. Dr. Shept said helplessly, in fact, we are indeed doing our best to rescue her, right? That's just us, George retorted. Dr. Hans at Wick's hospital and the doctor just now didn't mean that at all. They almost killed her. This matter is not good to be exposed, Dr. Shept said with a headache. Otherwise, the impact is too bad. It will be a blow to the image of all doctors and the image of the medical community. If there is one less organ donor, several patients will not receive effective treatment. But this is not right. George was full of dissatisfaction. Adam, what do you think? I listened to the hospital, Adam said calmly. George looked at Adam in disbelief. Adam, you. Adam looked at him calmly. Of course he knew that this was wrong, but is there only one injustice in society? If you really want to take care of everything and crash into it without caring about anything, just for the sake of justice, don't say that Adam is just a small time traveler with a garbage system. He has only become a billionaire after almost 10 years. Even if he is Longnaughton, if he really dares to do this, he will definitely be taught a lesson by society in minutes. The shady and powerful medical system in the United States has made the real Longnaughton of the United States wither. All Adam can do is to do good deeds within his reach. No more, no less. This is also the rule of the system to prolong life that he has figured out. Otherwise, with his current wealth, how many lives can he save by spending money on charity? But just because it is not a good deed that he personally faces and does personally, the system does not recognize it at all. Mr. Dean, he met him, and he did his best to rescue him. This woman who was almost killed, he met him, and he also did his best to rescue her. But that's all. P.S. Thanks to book friend 161106052407890 for the reward. I came back late in the afternoon and now I have to start writing 2 chapters for tomorrow afternoon, so there is only this one chapter today. Please forgive me. Chapter 406 I Am God, Medical Center. Dr. Shept finally took Adam to meet the family of the female patient. George's sense of justice was too strong at the moment. There was no room for the light of justice here. The family of the female patient naturally didn't know the twists and turns in the middle. Originally, they heard that there was basically no hope for her, so they asked them to come quickly to see their loved ones for the last time and to make a final confirmation of the organ donation. Who would have thought that a miracle would happen? She was saved. Naturally, they were all crying with joy. Of course, this is also because organ donations are free of charge. Otherwise, Adam would probably have seen the weakness of human nature again. Don't you see? A younger brother was killed innocently by his elder brother, and he could forgive the murderer on behalf of his elder brother who had ascended to heaven, ignoring his crying parents, and hugging the murderer, because he knew that his elder brother was a believer in God, and life and death were all God's will, so he naturally chose to forgive the murderer. Only in this way can there be salvation in the world. Only in this way can there be great love in the world. He was holding a huge check in his hand. He was moved to tears. If organ donations were paid, if one or all of the female patient's family members cried and said, "She is already in so much pain, please stop torturing her, let her return to God's arms peacefully, and it is her blessing to be able to save so many people at the end of her life," Adam would never be surprised. If that were the case, that would be the distortion of human nature and the decline of morality. After all, human nature cannot withstand any test. Human nature should not withstand such a test. Fortunately, Adam did not have to suffer this pain, and all he saw was the tears of joy from the female patient's family members, and their endless gratitude to Adam and others. This is the power of rules that many free people and free superheroes despise the most. There is no order without rules. To break the rules, there must be rules. Operating room, cleaning area. Don't look at it anymore. You will have an operation later, and you want to see the patient's brain, not mine, Adam said to George, who was staring at him while cleaning. "I just want to know what your brain structure is like," George complained. "It was you who tried your best to save Mr. Dean. It was you who supported me without hesitation to stop the removal surgery team. And it was you who chose to hide the truth from the patient's family. Which one is the real you? It was you who tried your best to expose the anesthesiologist Dr. Taylor for being drunk. And it was you who tried your best to stop the removal surgery team." Adam laughed, but when Meredith didn't trim her nails and took a nap, she punctured the patient's heart. "And it was you who advised me to be kind and not expose her." So the question is, which one is the real you? George was embarrassed, and the light of righteousness in his eyes could no longer shine on Adam. He is indeed a man with a strong sense of justice. But when the justice of the world and the justice of appearance collided, he still chose the justice of Meredith's appearance. Adam ignored George's embarrassment of being exposed for being a famous double standard, and after cleaning, he walked into the operating room. Brainstem tumor resection. Isn't it good? He is not interested in learning George to care about what other people think, unless that other person lets him cut open his brain for research. The operation was a success. "Duncan, are you interested in neurosurgery after your internship?" Dr. Shept always sighed after performing an operation with Adam. This time, he showed his intention to recruit him. In the United States, after completing 1 year of internship, you can get a medical license after passing the assessment. Of course, this license is completely different from the medical license of the attending physician. At most, it allows you to prescribe some non-specialized prescriptions. Then the interns who are promoted to residents have to choose a specialty. For example, neurosurgery, cardiothoracic surgery, plastic surgery, ophthalmology, dermatology, etc. Choose a specialty direction, follow a mentor who is an attending physician in the relevant specialty, and receive specialist residency training. For example, resident Dr. Nash Bailey chose the most ambitious, challenging and prestigious cardiothoracic surgery at this stage. She followed Dr. Burke, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon. In theory, Dr. Burke is her real superior, although Dr. Shept is also a superior and can assign her, that is without violating Dr. Burke's orders. As a famous neurosurgeon, Dr. Shept's question was very clear, that is, as long as Adam is willing, he can take Adam with him when he chooses a specialty. "I have always been interested in neurosurgery," Adam apologized, "but after the internship, I will choose cardiothoracic surgery first." After completing the professional training in cardiothoracic surgery, I would like to ask Dr. Shep to give me a chance to learn. It is normal for you to choose this way. Dr. Shep was a little unhappy when he heard Adam's previous refusal, but he still expressed his understanding very gracefully. But then he felt something was wrong. What did you say? After studying cardiothoracic surgery, you still want to study neurosurgery? Yes, Adam smiled and said, the two most important organs in the human body, the heart and the brain. I am very interested in both. I think I have good learning ability and energy, so naturally I want to learn both. Dr. Shep was speechless. If it were someone else, he would have reminded the other party not to be too ambitious. No matter which department, it is not easy to become a famous doctor and an authority. Moreover, even if you become a famous doctor and an authority, you are helpless against many diseases in your specialty, and you have to spend your whole life constantly improving your specialty skills. Practicing two major specialties at the same time, even if you are a genius, the most likely result is that your abilities in both specialties are mediocre. But it was Adam who said this. Dr. Shep did not dare to say that Adam would definitely not be able to do it. This conversation not only made Dr. Shep look a little strange, but also made other medical staff present, including George, look strange. What an incredible ambition. Adam smiled reservedly. He is an adult, and he doesn't have to make choices. Of course, he wants them all. Even after finishing cardiothoracic surgery and neurosurgery, infectious diseases, immunology, tumors, etc., he is interested in all of them. If you say that studying medicine at the beginning and embarking on the path of a great doctor is to prolong life more stably and safely, now that he has really embarked on this path, Adam has gradually become what the nurses call a surgeon with a god complex. Once he arrives in the operating room and picks up the scalpel, he can do everything. Every word, every action, every move can affect whether a life lives or dies. No matter you are a beggar or a great commander, you are just his patients, waiting for his judgment. Everything is under his control. This kind of power is addictive. This feeling is indescribable. After all, who doesn't want to be God? Chapter 407. It's too difficult. The operation is over. Duncan, go and notify the family, Dr. Shep said and left. Yes, Adam's mouth twitched. Among the various procedures of being a doctor, notifying the family is one of his least favorite parts. Bad news, facing a devastated family. Good news, facing a happy family who wants to hug. Especially for a boy like him, the number of hugs and the time of hugs are far more than other doctors. Even when there is bad news, there are people who want to hug him and cry. Jushiran said, boys should learn to protect themselves when they go out. But he is just an intern now. The superior doctor assigns you. It is both a respect for you and an order. You have no choice. All Adam can do is to avoid being hugged. If you really can't avoid it, you should also try to avoid being taken advantage of. Alas, boys like him are at risk of being pushed down in public at any time. When will they really stand up? Facts have proved that Adam really didn't think nonsense. The patient's sister, a teenage girl, was the first to rush to Adam with shining eyes after hearing the good news. The speed was so fast that even Adam almost couldn't dodge. But he managed to dodge once, but he couldn't play the same game with the patient's sister. In the end, he had no choice but to succumb to her persistence and be hugged. Then, after the other family members of the patient hugged themselves and cried with joy, when it was their turn to thank Adam, they found a familiar figure locked on Adam and refused to let go. Mindy, Mindy, Mindy. The others also noticed that their little sister and daughter had lost their composure and called out awkwardly, "Woo, I'm so happy." The girl named Mindy hugged Adam tightly, buried her head in Adam's chest, and pretended to cry with joy. But her voice didn't have any crying tone, it was full of uncontrollable ecstasy. Later, she also noticed that something was wrong and added a sentence. For Cindy, hearing her unnecessary confession, her family was even more embarrassed. In the end, everyone came forward together and took a lot of effort to pull the girl Minty off Adam. Adam smiled bitterly at everyone and left immediately. It was too hard for him. In the corridor, TSK, Meredith bumped into Adam with a court scan and was immediately amazed. "What's wrong?" Adam said unhappily. "Everyone says you're a playboy, but I always thought it was a rumor," Meredith teased. "But I think I was wrong." You're still at work in broad daylight. Who did you make out with? There's such a big lip print on your chest." The first half of the sentence was the truth, because she had winked at Adam in person, more than once. Adam ignored it. With the confidence she had developed from her childhood experience, she naturally wouldn't think that she was not attractive to Adam. She was also clear about the relationship between Adam and Bianca, so it wasn't that Adam was not good enough. The only truth was that Adam was not as playboy as the legend said. She could understand this very well. If you are not envied, you are mediocre. If you are not gossiped about, then you must not be good-looking enough. Like her, she has always had a bad reputation. No one understands this better than her. Adam looked down and saw a lip print on his chest. His face darkened. No wonder when they left, the family of Minty looked as if they wanted to say something but couldn't. "It's not what you think. No need to explain to me." Meredith was very calm, like a female doctor who had seen everything. And she didn't want to give others a chance to explain. "What's that in your hand?" Adam didn't fall for it. He skipped the topic of the lip print and looked at the court film in her hand. "Look for yourself." Meredith handed the court film to Adam and complained, "I thought it was just a legend. I didn't expect someone to be so stupid." "What the hell?" Adam picked up the court film and looked at it in the light. He saw pieces of foreign matter in his intestines and understood what Meredith meant at the first time. "Isn't this patient's name Ruth?" "Ruth?" Meredith obviously didn't understand the superhero joke. "The patient is Mr. Harper. The criminal is really desperate." Adam counted and sighed. If any of the packets burst in his stomach, he won't become a Superman. It will only kill him. Not to mention that he swallowed 10 packets in a row, 10 times the risk. In this era and in this place, is it really that difficult for criminals? If the calf bursts in his stomach, of course it will only kill him. How can he become a Superman? Meredith complained while reaching out to take back the court film. She also wanted to send the court film to Dr. Bailey and let Dr. Bailey make a decision. Adam dodged Meredith's hand, changed the direction of the court film, and changed the intensity of the light in disguise, and immediately exclaimed, "What's wrong?" Meredith said angrily. She suspected that Adam was teasing her. "This is not a calf." Adam returned the court film to her. "It's the head of a toy doll." "What?" Meredith looked at Adam in disbelief. The bubbles that wrapped the calf product wouldn't be stupid enough to make them into the shape of human heads, right? Adam pointed at the outlines of the female faces in the court scan that were revealed in the dim light. He should have twisted off the heads of the toy girls and swallowed them one by one. At this point, Adam couldn't help but frown. "As a doctor, I have seen many people swallow indigestible things into their stomachs. But swallowing 10 toy girl dolls' heads, this behavior is already considered abnormal, because the toy girl's head, psychologically speaking, has certain similarities with humans. Mr. Harper just swallowed the toy girl doll today. Who knows what he will do in the future? You know, this is the world of American TV series and movies. Adam has not forgotten the impressive perverts in it. Well, it's better not to let him see a psychiatrist afterwards. Adam secretly thought in his heart. In the world of American TV series and movies, many psychopaths are originally limited in perversion and do not cause much harm to society. But once he saw a psychiatrist, his mind was immediately blown open, and he began to become more and more perverted, and quickly developed from self-entertainment to harming others. Because, first of all, most people who go to see a psychiatrist have psychological problems to a certain extent. With such a large number of people, there will always be a few like-minded people. Secondly, you don't know whether the psychiatrist he sees has serious psychological problems himself. In the world of American TV dramas and movies, many super-perverted serial killers have a background as psychiatrists. Combined with Mr. Harper's interests, imagine, once the psychiatrist he sees is a professor, will he fall at the feet of the professor and directly transform into a gourmet? It's chilling to think about it. P.S. Thank you for the reward from Clover's Soul. Chapter 408. Let's go to the Medical Center together. What's wrong? You look so bad. Adam came back to his senses from his divergent thinking and found that Meredith looked very bad, and he couldn't help but be a little surprised. Could it be that Meredith has also heard the story of a certain famous gourmet, psychology master, and professor, Mr. Harper? Meredith hesitated for a moment as if she had swallowed a fly, and then said, He said that my features were too beautiful and delicate, like porcelain, and he didn't want to tell me what I swallowed because it was a bit offensive, and the way he looked at me. Before, she just thought that Mr. Harper coveted her beauty. She thought it was normal, and deep in her heart, she was even slightly happy. After all, my beauty is indeed not to be underestimated. This is the normal reaction of a man looking at her. But now that Adam pointed it out, she really felt offended. Is that so? Adam said seriously. Then I suggest you talk to Dr. Bailey and hand this case over to someone else, preferably not a woman. Thanks for the reminder. Meredith's eyes suddenly became sharp when she heard that she had to hand over the case. But no need, I can handle it. Are you sure? Adam smiled and said, this kind of person either has pica, curtain complex, weird orientation, or simply likes it. I think he just likes it. Meredith took the court film and prepared to go to Dr. Bailey. You don't think so? Adam hurriedly followed her and walked side by side with her. Do you know why he likes to do this? He either likes the feeling of swallowing and pulling out, or it's the prelude to some perverted desire. I don't want to hear it anymore, Meredith shouted, and her fast walk turned into a trot. TSK. This didn't scare Meredith into handing over the surgery to him. Adam couldn't help but feel a little sorry, but he still hurriedly followed. Joking aside, Meredith could barely be considered a friend, and he didn't want her to really meet that kind of person. It would be better to go and check it out. After all, he had been with Juno for a long time, studied psychology seriously, and had been promoted to a super genius. He had made great progress in his premonition of danger. He couldn't see through people's hearts like Juno did, but his vague feeling was still somewhat accurate. In the film viewing room, the results are out. Dr. Natchery Bailey glanced at Adam and set her eyes on Meredith Dahlbrand. As a senior resident, she obviously had her own judgment. No, Meredith handed the court film to Dr. Bailey. It's the head of a toy doll. What? Dr. Bailey was surprised when he heard it. He took the court film and put it on the viewing light board, then adjusted the light intensity, took a closer look, and immediately shouted, "Damn it, this is a Judy doll. You can even tell the brand?" Adam looked at Dr. Bailey in surprise. I know what you're thinking. Dr. Bailey rolled his eyes. Can't I get familiar with Judy dolls? Of course not. Adam shook his head immediately. There's a girl living in every woman's heart. Dr. Bailey, it's normal for you to like Judy dolls. Meredith rolled her eyes wildly, looking at Adam with contempt. Dr. Bailey is a gnat. Which eye of yours can tell that she has a girl's heart? You bootlicker. Adam ignored Meredith's gaze, with a sincere smile on his face. Dr. Bailey's appearance is indeed not good, and his figure is short and fat, but he has a warm heart. In the future, even many men will have a girl living in their hearts. Why can't Dr. Bailey? Adam said this completely from the bottom of his heart, and he definitely didn't want Dr. Bailey to give him more opportunities. Well, absolutely not. I love Judy dolls. I collect Judy dolls. Dr. Bailey looked at Adam expressionlessly, but his tone was different. She always focused on work and didn't talk about personal matters, but this time she took the initiative to say a few more words. Meredith had been following Dr. Bailey, and felt a stronger sense of shock at the slight contrast in this regard. How could Dr. Bailey not see that Adam was such an obvious flattery? But Dr. Bailey still liked it. She knew it. No one is invulnerable. Even Dr. Bailey can't do it with a naff. Thinking of this, Meredith looked at Adam with contempt. Adam returned a look and let her experience it herself. Thinking back to the past, after Meredith's first shift, she went to the second shift early in the morning and directly offered a latte to Dr. Bailey in front of everyone. What kind of behavior is this? This is naked flattery. Meredith, what should we do now? Dr. Bailey calmed down and switched back to the naff state. Cleanse the intestines. Meredith began to answer the instructor's questions seriously. Specifically, Dr. Bailey asked, we need to take all 36 feet, 10.8 meters, of Mr. Harper's intestines out of his abdominal cavity, find the heads of these Judy dolls by hand, cut open the intestines, squeeze out the Judy dolls one by one, and then sew them up. Meredith answered quickly. Okay, Meredith, go make an appointment for the operating room. Mr. Harper is already in danger. This operation must be performed today. Dr. Bailey was quite satisfied with Meredith's answer and began to assign tasks. Then see if George, Yang, Liz and others are free. If they are free, call them over." "Yes," Meredith agreed loudly and glanced at Adam proudly. "Want to grab the operation?" "Don't dream." Adam smiled but said nothing. "Duncan, go to the psychiatric department and call someone over to check on Mr. Harper to see what's wrong with him." Dr. Bailey looked at Adam. "Then if you are free, you can also participate in the operation. Such a long intestine needs to be cleaned, and we need enough manpower." "Okay, Dr. Bailey." Adam smiled more sincerely. In the corridor, a flatterer, Meredith complained, "Are you slandering Dr. Bailey's impartiality?" Adam raised his eyebrows. "Of course not." Meredith was speechless. She worked under Dr. Bailey. How could she dare to admit such words? "So," Adam smiled and said, "your speculation is pure speculation. It doesn't exist at all. Hurry up and make an appointment." After that, he hurried to the psychiatric department to find someone to see Mr. Harper. Meredith was left gritting his teeth. In the ward, Adam followed the psychiatrist and finally met the legendary Mr. Harper. When he saw him for the first time, Adam's eyes fixed. This smile, this look, it's not the perverted look of a certain professor, but the other party was walking at the crossroads, looking around, and one direction must have faintly seen the shadow of a certain professor. For a moment, Adam was full of thoughts. P.S. Thanks to the book friend 161106052407890 for the reward. Chapter 409, Gray is afraid of the medical center. Ward. Where's Dr. Gray? Mr. Harper, who has the potential to become a professor, glanced behind Adam, and his faint smile faded. "She's making an appointment for the operating room," Adam explained, looking at the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist understood and took the initiative to talk to Mr. Harper. Unfortunately, the psychiatrist only had the skills to slay dragons. Mr. Harper just smiled and ignored him. The psychiatrist spread his hands and left. This is the norm in American hospitals. When encountering troublesome patients, you push them to me and I push them to you. If you can avoid it, you don't get involved. The psychic patient that Liz met was originally a psychiatric patient, but once the psychic is accurate, it is a super psychologist who can always see through other people's hearts and make everyone who comes into contact with it feel deeply uncomfortable. Even the psychiatrist who specializes in treating mental illness felt offended. So, regardless of whether the surgery department was willing or not, they sent him over directly, saying that they suspected that the psychic had a tumor in his brain and asked the neurosurgery department to check it out. Unexpectedly, the psychic was really sick in the head. Because of the special condition of Mr. Harper, Meredith helped him to jump the queue. Adam accompanied Meredith to push the cleaned and disinfected Mr. Harper to the operating room. Is it a desperate act? No. To get more attention? Of course not. I'm trying to understand. Mr. Harper, why eat 10 Judy dolls' heads? Because 11 is too many. Meredith held the stretcher and had a conversation with Mr. Harper, completely ignoring Adam's dissuading eyes. Adam sighed. Meredith is just a surgeon, not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. It is not her turn to explore the abnormal psychology of patients, but she did it. Adam can understand her. Meredith thinks that she is a double justice in the world and in appearance. Shouldn't you confess the deepest secrets in your heart to her? Shouldn't you accept her justice values? This is not Adam's conjecture. Instead, she had this habit of counting all the cases Meredith had come into contact with. She always wanted to let them know what she thought was right, whether it was the patients or the family members. Usually, under the cover of a certain aura, her persuasion was effective. Therefore, afterwards, she often wore a gratified smile and sighed. But at this moment, Meredith, the client, didn't feel anything, or just felt a little frustrated. But Adam, the bystander, was really worried about Meredith. Sister, you have already attracted the perverted Mr. Harper. The way he looked at you was full of unspeakable flavor. You are now eager to sprinkle cumin on yourself. You think you are not fragrant enough. Shu Renju said, when you stare into the abyss will look back. Meredith's exploration definitely increased Mr. Harper's interest in her. Didn't you see that he, who was supposed to lie flat on the stretcher, had turned sideways and kept looking at Meredith behind him with his eyes full of unspeakable flavor. Then think of the unfriendly attitude of American TV series and movie screenwriters towards doctors. No way, no way. Operating room. Dr. Bailey has already brought George, Liz, Christina and others inside. This time, everyone is really pulling the intestines together. I think it has something to do with his mother. Maybe she wanted a girl, so she gave him a Judy doll as a gift, Liz said casually while pulling the intestines. So, I will remind my friend Ross when I go back, Adam said while pulling the intestines. His ex-wife is a lesbian, and she is married. He and his wife raised Ross's son Ben together. The toys they bought for Ben were all Barbie dolls. Ross was scared to death and quickly bought his son Ben a U.S. soldier. I found another one, George reminded and joined the gossip. What happened later? Ben likes to play with U.S. soldiers or Barbie dolls? Many people looked over, obviously wanting to know the answer. Barbie doll. Adam squeezed the Judy doll head in the large intestine towards the incision and said casually, "It's normal. Children like beautiful things." Meredith continued, "Well, it's the same when you grow up, except that you changed from a toy Barbie to a real Barbie. You have the most say in this," Adam teased. Rose also liked Barbie dolls when she was a child, and she even wore women's clothes. When she grew up and was in college, she liked people like you. Otherwise she wouldn't have competed for you with her good friend Chandler. What? Did Meredith date your friends? As soon as this gossip came out, the temperature in the operating room rose several degrees. Not my friends, Adam said seriously. My friends. The number cannot be wrong. Adam, Meredith shouted in embarrassment. You know, in college. Facing the gossiping eyes of everyone, Meredith tilted her head and explained awkwardly. Understandable. Liz helped to resolve the situation. The chaotic life of American college students can be summarized in one sentence. Everyone knows it. In fact, there is no one in the operating room who has not been to college. Therefore, everyone knows and resonates when they talk about it. Found another one, Christina reminded. Maybe his mother looks like Judy doll. He is a voodoo practitioner, but he changed the needle prick into swallowing. African Judy. Dr. Bailey took out the Judy doll that Adam and the others had squeezed over. Looking at the doll's big afro, she couldn't help but sigh. Before her hair grew long, she had an African hairstyle, and wore a brother's dancing boots and a leather jacket. Clip. The nurse immediately handed over a new one. After Dr. Bailey took out African Judy, he commented on the new Judy doll, model Judy. She rides a yellow scooter. Do you know what's weird? Isn't it weird enough now? Meredith complained. She looks a bit like Meredith. Adam keenly understood what Dr. Bailey meant. Yes, Dr. Bailey nodded. Hey, it really looks a bit like her. Everyone immediately looked over, then looked at model Judy on the left and Meredith on the right, making Meredith extremely uncomfortable. When a man likes a woman extremely, he always has a kind of love talk that makes him want to merge with you, Adam said strangely. Meredith, do you think this kind of love talk is nice now? Meredith looked at the 10 Judys in the basin who were still smiling, especially the model Judy who was unanimously believed to be very similar to her, and shuddered uncontrollably. She remembered Adam's reminder and the look Mr. Harper gave her. No wonder Mr. Harper refused to say more. How could this be just a little bit of an offense? This is a terrifying offense when you think about it carefully. Chapter 410. It's better to have something yourself than to have it by your parents. At night, the operation was over. Adam. Meredith called Adam. What for? Adam looked at her. Can you help me look after Mr. Harper? Meredith gritted her teeth and said, no problem. Adam nodded. Really? Meredith was extremely surprised, because after more than 2 months of getting along with Adam, his personality was already very clear. Adam's attitude was always to clearly refuse such requests that were somewhat private and official. If she hadn't felt really scared when she thought of Mr. Harper's smile now, if she hadn't been surrounded by only Liz, Christina, and George, her 3 best friends, and Adam was a real man, she wouldn't have made this request. And she didn't have much hope, but she never expected it. Adam actually agreed to it. This made her a little bit unbelievable for a while. Don't think too much, Adam explained. This is a special case. You don't really think that what I told you before the operation was to scare you just to snatch your operation, right? No. Meredith was very moved and waved her hands quickly. You guessed right, Adam interrupted. Before the operation, I was indeed trying to scare you. Meredith held his breath, feeling uncomfortable, but that was before the operation, or more precisely, before I actually met Mr. Harper. Adam became serious. It's completely different now. Mr. Harper is a dangerous person. You are really not suitable to contact him again. This is not a joke. If you believe me. Meredith was shocked. I believe you. Then you. Danger is relative. Adam smiled. To you, Mr. Harper is dangerous, but to me, he is safe. Ever since he started hunting with Juno, Karen, Heather and the others, he could no longer feel what fear was. As a result, his other attributes were all improving. But the speed attribute related to fear was stuck there, motionless. Sometimes, he was helpless. Meredith had a complicated expression. He was grateful to Adam. He also had a complaint about Adam's pretense. Adam didn't care what Meredith thought, and took over Meredith's job, preparing to help take care of Mr. Harper until he was discharged from the hospital. Ding-ling-ling, the phone rang. Adam picked it up and looked at it, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. Rachel? Adam, what gift did you give me? Exclamation mark. You're too much. Rachel's roar came from the phone. Adam unconsciously took the phone away from his ear, waited for a while, and then said leisurely, sorry, since you don't like it, I'll have someone take it back. Beep, beep. There was silence on the other end of the phone, and then the hang-up sound came. Adam was not surprised. Although Rachel's roar was loud, there was no anger at all. It was just a superficial work. It showed that she didn't like the gift at all. She was not that kind of person, but the fact is that she liked it very much. In fact, Adam suspected that she had already experienced it. Ding-ling-ling. Just when he was thinking about gossip and unconsciously showing a playful smile, the phone rang again. It was still Rachel. Rachel? Adam, this is Phoebe. But it was Phoebe's voice that came from the other end of the phone. Phoebe. Adam thought about it and his mouth twitched. Best friends are really magical creatures. They even talk about this. Chandler, Monica, we all miss you. You haven't attended our party for a long time. Phoebe talked about feelings on the other end. Sorry, I'm too busy as an intern. Adam apologized. Are you all free tomorrow night? Let's get together. To maintain a circle of friends, both sides have to devote time and energy. Adam hasn't participated in the group activities of old friends for more than 2 months, which is indeed a bit unreasonable. After all, time is a magical thing. If you really want to, you will always have time. Yes, Phoebe said with a smile. Then it's settled. At Monica's apartment, I'll arrange dinner. Adam smiled. Great. Phoebe clapped her hands on the other end of the phone. By the way, Adam, my birthday is February 16th. Adam's mouth twitched. It's just September now. It's been more than 7 months since my last birthday, and there are still more than 4 months until my next birthday. What do you want to say? I don't mean anything else, Phoebe said with a smile. I think you're really good to Rachel, but we're all friends. You shouldn't treat them differently, right? How you treat her, you should treat me the same way. Okay, I get it. Adam didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I know you're the best, Adam. Phoebe was overjoyed. She hung up the phone. Adam shook his head. He didn't know what the real circle of friends in the United States was like, but the circle of friends in the world of American TV dramas and movies is sometimes so weird. Can you imagine asking friends for an iron suit in a roundabout way? But after getting over the initial shock, Adam could understand it. Is it that Phoebe can't afford the iron suit? It's true. The iron suit has various models such as MK1, MK2, MK3. Hulkbuster armor, and there is also a simple version of Death Whip and a pirated version of Justin Hammer. They are all called iron suits. But are their combat power at the same level? Adam asked Toolman number 3 to go to the store on 8th Avenue. Barney Stinson had certified it and said it was highly recommended. Not to mention the appearance and effect. After all, Adam didn't know, but just talking about the price, 1 is worse than 100. You get what you pay for. It's normal for a woman like Phoebe to act when she saw it. Fortunately Monica didn't get involved. Adam muttered to himself. Half an hour later, ding-ling-ling, the phone rang again. Adam opened it and patted his forehead. After the call was connected, Monica's deliberately low voice came from the other end of the phone with the sound of running water. After a roundabout conversation, she and Phoebe had the same meaning. "Chandler doesn't do morning exercises now?" Adam frowned. "Didn't I remind you to take him to do morning exercises?" "No," Monica denied. "We always do morning exercises." "Then why?" Adam was puzzled. Monica hesitated for a long time. Adam finally understood. "To sum it up in one sentence, it's better to have it yourself than to have it yourself." Adam thought so. If Monica didn't have this spirit of exploration, she wouldn't be able to come up with the 7-star magic circle. "No problem." Adam agreed to everything and asked Tillman number 3 to place an order as an early birthday gift for them. "Well, the version is a modified version of Colonel Rhodes' Iron Patriot." Adam was shaking his head when he suddenly heard a loud shouting. He quickly ran in the direction of the sound, and then he was startled. He saw Meredith hiding there, secretly peeking at something, as if something terrible was chasing her, and she was trembling all over. Chapter 411. I'm no longer sleepy when you mention this medical center. Seeing Meredith hiding there and peeping, Adam's first reaction was that Mr. Harper was crazy, but then he heard a roar. "Don't touch me, you inexperienced quacks. How many times have I told you not to disturb me when I'm working?" Adam felt relieved. This was a female voice, and not a live voice. It shouldn't be Mr. Harper who was crazy, but thinking of the 8-foot-tall man sitting in the internet cafe in the future, sometimes using a live voice to score with his brothers, and sometimes using a gentle male voice to chat with his girlfriend, and the wind troll in the Big Bang Theory who frantically clicked the mouse and output crazily with Howard under the Bridge of Souls in World of Warcraft, causing Bernadette and Howard to break up. In real life, it was actually just a disgusting old fat man in the Equipment Management Department of California Institute of Technology where Howard worked. So, it's really hard to say if you don't see it in person. In order to confirm, Adam quickly turned around the corner and looked over. I saw a middle-aged woman sitting on a gurney, yelling and struggling. Christina, Liz, George and others around him looked like they had seen a ghost. "This is Dr. Alice Gray. Didn't I hear that she went to the Mayo Clinic?" "Why did I hear that she went to the United Nations?" Some people also said that she was collecting folk stories everywhere and was preparing to write a great medical book. How did she become like this? Maybe she's crazy. It's not surprising that someone as proud as her would end up like this. Yes, there's always a fine line between genius and madness. It's a pity for Dr. Meredith Gray. This is Alzheimer's disease. Various whispers reached Adam's ears. He immediately understood the situation. This was Meredith's mother, the idol of Christina and Liz, a legendary female doctor who created many famous surgical procedures and wrote many textbooks. Alice Gray. The Mayo Clinic is recognized as the first medical center in the United States. The World Health Organization is a world-renowned station. Those who can go to these two places are real medical masters. But Alice Gray was invited to these two places again and again. You can imagine her position in the global medical community. Now that she has achieved so much, she has Alzheimer's disease, which is almost terminal. She can't even remember who she is, where she is, and what she is doing. No wonder Meredith trembled and hid away and dared not come forward. Others' impression of her in the past was mostly that she was the daughter of the legendary Gray, and they were basically either envious or jealous, although she didn't say it, or often said that she didn't want to be the daughter of a legend at all. But deep in her heart, she was proud of this identity. This sense of identity was engraved into her bones after attending medical school, because not every medical student has to buy books written by their mother, learn the exquisite techniques created by their mother, and listen to classmates and professors constantly talking about how awesome their mother is. But now she is just a poor wretch pitied by others. How glorious her mother was in the past, how strong the contrast she feels now is. Adam shook his head and turned away. He still had 3 patients to take care of and had no time to deal with such troubles. An hour later, after inspecting 3 wards, Adam was about to go to the emergency room to take a look. He was stopped by George, who was like a headless fly. "Adam, help me," George said sadly. "I really can't handle Dr. Gray." "Which Dr. Gray?" Adam knew that George had taken over the trouble as usual, and couldn't help but teasing. "Alice Gray, Meredith's mother, George explained. She has Alzheimer's disease and now has intermittent cramps, pain and diarrhea. Dr. Bailey asked me to examine her, but she mistook me for her husband and thought I was playing doctor with her. She wouldn't let me examine her and told me to stay aside because she wanted to work. Okay, George O'Malley. Adam was stunned and his eyes immediately became strange. I really have a new respect for you. In the novel, there is a plot where the fiancé cheated on him, and the fiancé married the fiancé's daughter after more than 10 years of grief. This operation was already exciting enough, but compared with your operation without any time lag, it's simply rubbish. What did you say? George said speechlessly. She made a mistake. I just look a bit like her ex-husband. You look like Meredith's father? Adam almost laughed. Who said that? Meredith? No, George said with a sad face. It's the director. He and Meredith's mother are old friends. It's okay. Adam nodded. What do you mean, okay? George asked, puzzled. It's good that the director said so. Adam suppressed his laughter and said, if Meredith thought you were like her father from the beginning, then there would be more explanation for her crying out loud during your time together. George's head began to hurt and he was about to cry. Will you help me? Adam couldn't tease him anymore, for fear that he would really make him collapse, so he put his attention back to the business. He was going to refuse at first. After all, he had a lot of things to do, and he always kept a clear distinction between public and private affairs, and would never mix public and private affairs unless it was absolutely necessary. Besides, if George couldn't handle such a small matter, he would be a waste. But he suddenly noticed what George said before, and his heart moved. You said she kept talking about working? What stage of Alzheimer's is she? It should be the second stage. How many years has she been in the second stage? If Alzheimer's disease reaches the third stage, it will be unable to take care of itself, and it will definitely not be as lively and energetic as Alice Gray is now. The second year. George read the medical records and reported it immediately. Okay, I'll go with you to take a look. Adam's eyes lit up. In the second stage of Alzheimer's disease, although the memory is damaged, the degree of loss is not as severe as in the third stage. And for a legendary female doctor like Alice Gray, performing surgery has become her instinct. Didn't you see her yelling at the time that you are all quacks? There is no clear level of master doctors. However, according to Adam's own classification of cardiothoracic surgery, it should be General Cardiothoracic Surgeon Leonard, who is a little famous Dr. Burke, Richard, the chief of surgery of a large hospital, and the legendary famous Dr. Alice Gray. That's right, Alice Gray is a cardiothoracic surgeon. If Adam's expectation comes true and Alice Gray really keeps her memory of medicine, then it will definitely be a rare adventure and enjoyment to communicate face-to-face with such a legendary female doctor of cardiothoracic surgery. Adam immediately became excited when he thought of this. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 412, Adam in the Eyes of the Legendary Boss. Ward, Dr. Gray. George pushed open the door and called out. Damn Zach, I'm working. Alice Gray was working there. When she heard the noise, she cursed out. I don't have time to deal with you now. If you want to watch cartoons, go and watch cartoons yourself. George immediately looked at Adam with a bitter face. Zach, you also heard what Dr. Gray said. Go and watch cartoons yourself. Adam smiled and said, Dr. Gray, I'm Dr. Adam Duncan. It's an honor to meet you. You are the idol of all our doctors. Are you familiar with Gray's endoscopic surgery? Alice Gray also became excited when she heard this. She put down her work and looked at Adam with scrutiny. Of course. Adam smiled and said, I have studied the Gray series of procedures you pioneered seriously. I have to say that the invention of these procedures is a blessing for doctors and patients. Don't say these well-known nonsense. Let me ask you. Alice Gray interrupted Adam's compliments and started the mentor interrogation mode with a cold face. After she became successful, she had heard too many flatteries. Even though she was suffering from Alzheimer's disease at the moment, Her subconscious mind automatically filtered out these and focused on medicine. Adam was delighted and answered all her questions quickly and accurately. In theory, he was not afraid of anyone. The two of them asked and answered without pause, which made George standing next to them dumbfounded. Despicable. George immediately saw Adam's sinister intentions. Adam was not here to help him at all, but to learn from Alice Gray as a teacher. What's more shameful is that Adam actually didn't take him. There was no way. Alice Gray asked quickly, and Adam answered quickly. At first, he could barely keep up, but as the content of the questions and answers became deeper and more biased, George's mind immediately went blank. He was stunned for a long time before he realized the situation. He was being despised invisibly. Compared with Alice Gray and Adam, it seemed that he could only learn from Alice Gray's ex-husband Zach and watch cartoons. This was a double blow to his IQ and knowledge. In addition, the past of his predecessors Zach and Alice Gray cast a heavy shadow on his and Meredith's future. How painful it was. Adam, we are here too. The shadow in George's heart had overflowed and appeared directly on his face, and he opened his mouth to remind him. Shut up, Zach. Alice Gray immediately yelled at him. Ahem. Seeing George's completely dark face, Adam knew that he had gone too far, so he coughed lightly. Dr. Gray, we need to examine you first, and then I will ask you for advice. Is that okay? Just promoted to chief physician? Alice Gray withdrew her disgusted gaze from George, and looked at Adam with a look full of wise teasing. You have to do a small examination yourself? What? George was stunned and unbelievable. You said he is the chief physician, isn't he? Alice Gray had an affirmative expression. His theory is indeed powerful, not inferior to any famous doctor, but his grasp of surgical details is completely a rookie among the chief physicians. If he is not a new chief physician, what is he? George suddenly didn't know what to say. His point is not this. Okay, he knows that Adam is powerful. Everyone knows that Adam is powerful, but he is definitely not powerful to this extent. New chief physician? Theoretical attainments that are not inferior to any famous doctor? You dared to say that. Alzheimer's disease has hallucinations. That's right, she is not the legendary female doctor now, but just a patient. How can I believe what the patient says? After all, in her eyes, I am still her husband. Don't be discouraged. Seeing that Adam didn't speak, Alice Gray comforted him. You are so young, and you have been promoted to chief physician. You are better than me in the past. As long as you keep working so hard, your achievements in the future will not be worse than mine. I will work hard. Adam smiled happily. He was sure now, Alice Gray is really a treasure. Even though her memory has been affected by Alzheimer's disease and she can't even recognize her husband and daughter, she can still talk about those complicated medical theories and surgical details. No wonder Meredith has a bad relationship with her and her ex-husband divorced her. Like all great doctors who pursue medical skills, her family may also love her, but from beginning to end, she only loves medicine the most. This kind of love has been engraved into the bone marrow and imprinted into the soul. Yes, without this degree of love, it is impossible to create so many medical legends. Very good. Don't waste time. Let's do the examination quickly. Alice Gray was very satisfied with Adam's attitude. She turned around and unbuttoned the back of her clothes directly, motioning Adam to check. Take a deep breath. Adam took the stethoscope and began to examine her. Alice Gray was very cooperative. This scene made George's mouth twitch. Why did he yell, scold and beat him? The gap is too big. No wonder Zach cheated with his female student. George muttered in his heart. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to stand your temper. When Alice Gray was angry before, she revealed such explosive gossip. He was still on her side. But now, there is such a strong contrast with Adam. George unconsciously put himself in Zach's shoes and found that facing such an Alice Gray, Zach was not easy either. How is it? Alice Gray asked. It should be diverticulitis. Adam didn't beat around the bush and smiled. But we need to do a scan to confirm it. Diverticulitis. Oh, it seems that I am really old. Alice Gray shook her head. The formation of diverticula is a typical physiological state of human aging. The older you are, the more likely it is to happen. Alice Gray is actually not that old. She is only in her 60s. Richard, the chief of surgery who is about the same age as her intern, had vision problems and had surgery. He wanted to return to the battlefield of the hospital immediately. 60 years old is really not old. This should be similar to her suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is also common in people over 70 years old. Otherwise it would not be commonly known as senile dementia. Alice Gray's physical aging should be far beyond her peers. Let's go and take an X-ray, Alice Gray commanded. The sooner the examination is completed, the sooner the surgery can be performed. Okay. Adam helped Alice Gray get out of bed and signaled George to push the wheelchair over. Damn it, Zach, hurry up. Don't waste time. When George hesitated for a moment, Alice Gray immediately scolded him. You can't even do such a small thing. What else can I expect you to do? Get out. Get out of my house. Get out of my sight. Go and fiddle with your pitiful research funds with your little bitch student. My job is the most important. I'm the one who pays for this house. I'm the one who supports Meredith. I'm the one who supports you and your precious lifestyle. Why don't you just leave and let me handle this myself? Alice Gray's veins popped up, and if Adam hadn't held her, she would have rushed towards George. Obviously, while retaining her medical memory, a little stimulation can make her show some terrible symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. George was at a loss, and his chubby face was about to cry with grievance. Who did he offend? Chapter 413. You have to be careful. Ward. Zach, you leave first, Adam said while holding Alice Gray and winking at George. George had no choice but to leave. Once the explosion point was gone, with Adam's appropriate comfort, Alice Gray calmed down in a short while and turned back into the wise and calm legendary female doctor. After accompanying her to take the X-ray, Adam frowned. How is it? George popped up again. Adam was not surprised. After all, Alice Gray was the patient assigned to him by Dr. Bailey, not to mention that she was the mother of his goddess Meredith. Even if she scolded him harshly just now, he could only accept it. He should care about her in every way. It is indeed diverticulitis. Adam frowned and said, that's nothing, but there is an abnormal mass in her liver. No way, George exclaimed. Liver cancer. Then, he felt sorry for the goddess. Poor Meredith, isn't it bad enough that her mother has Alzheimer's disease? Now she has to fight cancer again. It's not sure whether it is liver cancer yet, Adam interrupted. It's just an abnormal mass. It may also be a benign tumor, which requires a biopsy. I'll go inform the director, George said. The director asked me to take good care of her. Then I'll go find Meredith. Adam nodded. Her authorization is required for a biopsy. With a disease like Alzheimer's disease, Alice Gray no longer has the right to make her own decisions. Whether she has surgery or not is entirely decided by her daughter Meredith. This is a very sad fact, because at this point, you have lost your free will. This is true freedom, not the all-encompassing and all-powerful kind that is boasted. I'll go find Meredith. George hesitated as soon as he heard it. How sad the goddess must have been to hear this news. It should have been him who stood by her and comforted her. That's fine. Adam didn't care. Then I'll go find the director, inform him of the news, and ask him to arrange the operating room and confirm the operation as soon as possible. Okay. George nodded, and went to find Meredith with a heavy face. The chief of surgery's office, Dr. Duncan. What's the matter with you? Richard, the chief of surgery, who couldn't wait to come back after staying at home for a few days, looked up and saw Adam, a little surprised. Director, it's Alice Gray. Adam told the situation. Richard, the chief of surgery, immediately looked heavy and sighed slightly. I know, I'll do the operation. Director, how is your health? Adam was surprised and said, I can do this kind of operation. I'm fine now. Richard, the chief of surgery, stood up. It's too late to write a written document now. I'll go to Shep to get a verbal permission first. Dr. Shep won't allow it. Adam reminded, it's only been a week since your brain surgery. You can't have surgery yet. I can. Richard, the chief of surgery, glared at Adam. I'm the chief of surgery. I have the final say. Okay. Adam said no more. Biopsy, this kind of minor operation, is really not difficult. Any resident can do it. And since the chief of surgery is acting like a big shot, Adam will not stop him. She is Alice Gray, my good friend. Chief of surgery Richard also realized that his attitude was not good, and said in a gentle tone, I must go all out and cannot tolerate any accidents. I know my body, and you all know my skills." "Yes," Adam nodded. Richard's medical attainments can be imagined to be the chief of major surgery in the economic and cultural center of the United States, the center of the American TV multiverse, and one of the best medical centers in the Big Apple. He is the real top star of the medical center. "Follow me." Chief of Surgery Richard was very satisfied with Adam's attitude, greeted him, and walked out. Adam hurriedly followed. Chief of Surgery Richard went to find Dr. Shept to get the first permission. Unfortunately, Dr. Shept was angry with him and ignored his request and threat. "No matter how awesome you are just my patient now. If I say no, it means number." "Who told you to first hand over the acting chief of surgery to Burke, and then invite my copper-piece devil wife to come over, so that I didn't have time to tell my girlfriend Meredith? And then I was furious, making it a mess now. Let's go find Burke." Richard, the chief of surgery, left with a dark face. "Chief, George went to Meredith to ask for authorization. There is no one to take care of Dr. Gray. How about I go and help her with the preoperative preparations?" Adam suggested. He had seen the chief of surgery embarrassed once. If Dr. Burke refused again for some reason this time, the chief of surgery might vent his anger on him. "Don't doubt it. He really didn't do anything. But this is society." "Okay." Richard, the chief of surgery, thought about it and nodded in agreement. After Dr. Shep's confrontation, he was no longer so confident. Although he is the chief of surgery, it is normal for famous doctors like Dr. Shept and Dr. Burke to confront him in public as long as there is legitimate reason. Outside the ward, "How bad is it?" Meredith and George secretly peeked at Alice Gray. "What's the bill, Reuben?" 4. George looked at her with pity and comforted her. "It's neither too good nor too bad. Adam is right. It's probably just a benign tumor. After all, there is no jaundice. Once jaundice symptoms appear, it means that there is a big problem with the liver." "I know," Meredith replied absent-mindedly. "What are you doing here?" Adam walked over and said, "Meredith, have you signed your authorization?" "I have signed it." George waved the surgical authorization agreement in his hand. "Okay. The director has arranged for Dr. Burke to perform the diverticulitis surgery and also did a biopsy at the same time." Adam comforted, "You all know Dr. Burke's level. No problem." Then he looked at George again. "George, do you want to go to Dr. Gray's preoperative examination, or should I go?" George's face darkened. He wanted to go, but with Alice Gray's attitude towards him, it would be useless for him to go. "You go," George said with a dark face. "Hey, you have to be careful." Adam refused. "Who can you show your dark face to? You asked me to help you first, not me to take the initiative to snatch your operation. It hasn't started yet. You can go by yourself." "I won't say no, George. Adam is also kind." Meredith moved her eyes from spying on her mother and advised. She just accepted Adam's kindness, and compared to George, she was more relieved that Adam was responsible for her mother, so she naturally stood on Adam's side. "I know, I'm sorry." George's fat face turned red and white, and his eyes were full of grievances. He had it too hard. P.S. Thanks to Zenks and book friend 16110605240789 for the reward. Chapter 414, Singing the Same Song, Medical Center. With Meredith's authorization, Adam began to accompany Alice Gray to prepare for the operation. Adam is also an old actor with real skills. Alice Gray cooperated very well under his true character. Richard, the chief of surgery, could not perform the operation himself, so he invited Dr. Burke, whom he most recognized. The operation itself was nothing to say. After an expedited biopsy, it was found to be a benign tumor. This made everyone feel relieved, especially Adam. "Meredith, let's get together tonight." After the good news spread to everyone who should know, Adam found Meredith and invited her with a smile. As soon as he said this, Liz, Christina, George, and Meredith all looked over, their eyes full of weirdness. "What's wrong?" Adam shrugged. "You're not right," Christina said faintly. "Very wrong." Liz nodded in agreement. "Take me with you," George said nervously. "Tell me, what do you want to do?" Meredith reacted and said unhappily, "Is it related to my mother?" Adam's mouth twitched. "How can you say that? Why does it sound so awkward?" What will happen if you meet the old rounding freak? Can't it be a normal gathering among friends? Celebrate the health of your friend's mother and everything goes well? TSK. Liz and the other two made contemptuous sounds. That's it? Do you think we will believe it? Christina sneered. I know, George shouted. You want to continue to steal from others. Steal from others. Christina's eyes immediately showed a look. George told the story and also told Alice Gray's evaluation of Adam. She dared to say that. Do you dare to believe it? Christina and the other two girls were silent for a while, and their eyes flickered when they looked at Adam. You don't really believe it, do you? George saw that no one agreed with him, and he was a little embarrassed. His eyes swept back and forth from the three girls. After a few rounds, he suddenly understood and was surprised. If it were you, I certainly wouldn't believe it. Christina sighed, glanced at him. Yeah, if it were anyone else, I wouldn't believe it either. Liz sighed. Remember the nurse with pancreatic cancer? She was my mother's operating nurse for 18 years. Meredith said faintly, my mother has Alzheimer's disease and doesn't even remember me, her daughter, but when I mention her, my mother immediately laughs out loud, saying she remembers her and asks me if she's still a surgical nurse. She praises her as the best surgical nurse. That's normal, Christina said as a matter of course. How long have you been with her? And how long have the surgical nurses been with her? Meredith was stunned. She really hadn't thought about it from this perspective. Thinking about it carefully, even when she was a child, her mother rarely took her with her. Her mother has been in the operating room for decades. One for 27 years, one for 18 years. If you really count it, the time her daughter of 27 years spent with her mother may not even be a fraction of the 18 years the nurse spent with her. It's reasonable that her mother forgot her but remembered her operating nurse. So, Adam grinned and said, I have a suggestion. I want to rent an office for Dr. Gray in the hospital so that she can be in an environment that is as familiar to her as possible, with the most advanced drugs to improve brain metabolism and cognitive function. Dr. Gray's Alzheimer's disease can be alleviated as much as possible. Alzheimer's disease is indeed incurable at this stage, but with comprehensive treatment, it can be greatly delayed. And then you want to steal from her. Liz rolled her eyes at Adam. Don't you think you are being too utilitarian? This is a win-win situation. And it's not that I win 4 times, Adam retorted. It's good for Dr. Gray, it's good for Meredith, it's good for me, and it's good for you too. The knowledge and experience of a legendary female doctor are priceless. If they are wasted like this, it will be a shame for the medical community and even the entire human race. I think we can give it a try. As expected, Christina was the first to agree. Adam is willing to spend money to help Meredith's mother alleviate Alzheimer's disease, so that she can have a higher quality of life for the rest of her life. And by the way, he is working hard for the inheritance of medicine. What kind of spirit is this? A thorough altruistic spirit. What reason do we have to stop him? No. Meredith shook her head in confusion. I don't want to see her. I'm afraid to see her. That's it, Adam interrupted. I can arrange her office away from our activity area and arrange several experienced nurses to prevent her from coming to disturb the normal operation of the hospital. As long as you don't want to see her, I promise you won't see her. How about it, Meredith? Christina didn't need Adam to signal, and she began to assist. Alzheimer's disease can be alleviated. What your mother remembers most clearly is her memory of being a doctor. By setting up the environment and scenario, it will continue to strengthen this memory. It will be very good for your mother. Maybe one day she will remember you. Even if she can't remember you, Adam added, isn't it 100 times better to let her live in the most glorious memory than to let her stay alone in a nursing home and slowly grow old? If it were me, I would definitely choose this. Christina agreed again. Meredith, Adam said sincerely, she is your mother. She didn't have much time to accompany you before. Now I am willing to do my best to create all favorable environments so that you have the opportunity to spend more time with her. Let her accompany you, help you, witness your growth, and be proud of you. This opportunity for you and your daughter to start over. Do you really want to give up because of temporary discomfort? Be rational, Meredith. This is an unprecedented opportunity to make up for regrets. Christina continued, and in your mother's situation, It is far more beneficial for her to stay in the hospital than in a nursing home. Once any problem arises, it can be solved immediately. But can you do that in a nursing home? Time is life. Do you really want to take the risk of delay in this process? Meredith. Adam finished speaking, and Christina seamlessly took over. After Christina finished speaking, Adam took over seamlessly. They sang in unison and cooperated well. George and Liz were dumbfounded. Meredith's expression was tangled at first, then she covered her head, and finally she couldn't stand it anymore and shouted, "Okay, stop talking. Isn't it enough that I agree?" "A wise choice." Christina smiled. "This will be a wonderful new starting point." Adam smiled sincerely and said, "Meredith, believe me, you won't regret it. By the way, I heard that you have a lot of Dr. Gray's collection of surgical videotapes at home. Bring them over when the time comes. Let her relive the past, which will be good for her condition." "Good idea." Christina agreed. Meredith, George, Liz. P.S. Thank you Anita Wendow for the reward. Chapter 415, Flowers and Money Raining from the Sky. Medical Center. "It's me. You go tomorrow." With Meredith and the other two stunned, Adam picked up the phone and called to man number 3. "By the way, Meredith, which nursing home is Dr. Gray in?" Facing Adam holding the phone, he looked at her sincerely, waiting for her answer. What else can Meredith do? She can only helplessly report the name and location of the nursing home. "Did you hear that? Go there and help me hire the medical staff who took care of Dr. Alice Gray." Adam ignored Meredith's entanglement, and with Christina secretly giving him a thumbs up, he naturally gave to man number 3 a task. "Well, find 6 first, preferably 3 men and 3 women, and then 2 people will take turns. It's best to come to work tomorrow." "Yes, salary is not a problem." Although Meredith was confused by the mixed doubles of Adam and Christina, she agreed. But for such things, it is better to strike while the iron is hot and make a final conclusion. If Meredith's chance of regretting afterwards was 60%, then under Adam's hidden weapon method of throwing money all over the sky, she was nailed there directly, and the chance of regretting was forcibly reduced to less than 1%. George and Liz's mouths twitched. At one stroke, 6 medical staff members were available around the clock. In order to quickly poach people, salary is not a problem. How much money does it cost? This treatment is very different from the treatment of several or even a dozen elderly people in the nursing home by one medical staff member. Money really can do whatever you want. JPG. By the way, you should order a set of meals for me now and send them to this address. The recipient is Monica Geller. Be quick. After helping Alice Gray find medical staff, Adam remembered something and added a sentence. After hanging up the phone, Adam said to Christina, "I was originally planning to have dinner with my friends tomorrow night, but with the incident with Dr. Gray, I may not have the opportunity to have dinner with my friends for a long time, not tonight. So let's just move it to tonight. You take care of Dr. Gray before midnight, and I'll come back to take over after the dinner. Is that okay?" "Don't worry." Christina nodded without saying anything. Unlike George and Liz, who are not very motivated, she and Adam have highly consistent ideas. This is the legendary female Dr. Alice Gray, a character who came out of the textbook. Learning from her is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. How different is it from cheating in novels? In order to create this condition, Adam has paid enough money and effort. Now as long as she helps out, let alone one night, she is willing to sacrifice her spare time every night. "I'll go to the director to discuss renting an office in the hospital." Adam looked at Meredith and smiled. "Meredith, go back tonight and organize Dr. Gray's surgical tapes, notes and other valuable memory materials. See you tomorrow." After that, he gave Christina a look that said keep nailing and went to find Richard, the director of surgery. Although the rain of money was the unique skill of the Wuangongtsai, it was too showy and left too much trace. Even if Meredith was nailed there by various golden hidden weapons, if she really dared to endure the pain, there was still a 1% chance of forcibly breaking free. Christina was different. She was Meredith's best friend, so she talked to her best friend. Say a few famous quotes like "Life is like that, since you can't resist, why not lie down and enjoy it?" Using both soft and hard tactics, Meredith had no intention of resisting at all. The director of surgery's office, Adam said his idea. To his surprise, Richard, the chief surgeon, did not agree right away. He was just as conflicted as Meredith. Meredith was upset because she had a bad relationship with her mother. "What's your reason?" Adam looked at Richard, the chief surgeon, with a strange look. "There's a problem." "Okay, I'll help you deal with it." Richard, the chief surgeon, noticed that Adam's look was not right, and he forced a smile. He had no choice. Adam had already listed a long list of benefits for the patient Alice Gray. Adam also thought of various hidden dangers such as disrupting the operation of the hospital in advance, and he could solve them with his money. As an old colleague and good friend of Alice Gray, he was just helping to coordinate the office rental. How could he refuse? "Thank you, Director." Adam put away his gossiping heart, thanked sincerely, and reminded, "It's best to hurry up. It would be best if it can be done tomorrow. After all, Dr. Gray will be in the hospital for a few days and will be discharged. I hope she can be transferred directly there. I need to have someone decorate it like her old office in advance." "I know." Richard, the director of surgery, couldn't help but sigh. "Dr. Duncan, you are thoughtful." Putting aside some unspeakable thoughts, he was still sincerely happy and even envious of an old colleague and good friend who was sick and could receive such treatment that obviously surpassed that of a worker. That's right, even at their level, they are still really workers. Once a worker can no longer work for the boss, he still wants super standard courtesy. What a fart. The stipulated courtesy is always at risk of being unilaterally terminated at any time. Without legal constraints, no one will look at you even if you die in front of the boss. And once you encounter force majeure, it will be really miserable. It means that Meredith surrendered in advance, otherwise Adam would have a fatal blow waiting for her. Well, because of your past experience and busy work, you don't want to see your mother, so you put her in a nursing home. But do you know what the crime rates of various nursing homes and retirement homes in the West are like? They are so high that it's shocking. Let's not talk about abuse. Your mother is a legendary female doctor, not to mention that she must have been a great beauty when she was young. Even when she was old, she still has charm, far surpassing her peers, and it's easy for her to be targeted. Not to mention, she has Alzheimer's disease, which is also known as senile dementia. Even if she was violated, she might not remember it. Wouldn't this increase the chance of being a crime? She is your mother after all. How can you bear it? If Adam really put this kind of real investigation report in Meredith's face and questioned her, it is guaranteed that she would be ashamed and regretful to the point of crying and even collapsing. But there is no way. Adam is a good person. He would not do such things unless it is absolutely necessary. He is so considerate of others. "Monica, it's me. We have to move up the dinner tomorrow night." The head of surgery, Richard, agreed to help. Adam came out with a smile on his face and walked towards the dressing room while calling Monica and the others. "Is your cousin Kathy here too?" "No problem. It's more fun with more people. I'll ask someone to order one more." Chapter 416 I have never seen such a shameless person. Medical center. Adam called Monica and then called tool number 3. At this time, everyone had already eaten, so Adam asked tool number 3 to order a very small but very expensive French meal. Since Monica's cousin is here, she will definitely be included. Hang up the phone. Adam went to the locker room to change his clothes, walked to the elevator, and prepared to leave the hospital. It hasn't arrived yet. A burst of explosive conversation came into his ears. "You are really a Satan. You know it yourself, right?" Dr. Shep's voice was a little angry. "If Satan can show up, it must be like you. Why don't you ride a broom and fly back to Boston?" "Don't be so narrow-minded." Shep's wife, Dr. Montgomery, sounded indifferently. "Then don't be a copper bitch." Dr. Shep cursed coldly. "You will forgive me in the end, right?" Dr. Montgomery was also a little angry. "I mean, we used to be best friends, and there is a crisis in love, but you can't just throw away such a deep friendship, right?" "I once thought you were the love of my life," Dr. Shep said coldly, "but plans can't keep up with changes. When you and my best friend Mark were wanton in our wedding bed, facing our wedding photos, everything changed." Hearing this, Adam was a little surprised. No wonder Alex was really shot before. At the beginning, Dr. Shep, like all doctors, expressed concern for Alex's experience. But later, as more and more news came out, especially after the gossip that Alex and the gunman's wife were happy in the gunman's wedding bed, facing the gunman's wedding photos, Dr. Shep's attitude changed. He couldn't suppress his disgust for Alex. The truth was finally revealed. It turned out that Dr. Shep really felt the same way. What's even worse than the gunman is that the one who cheated on him is his best friend. Adam stopped walking, not wanting to get any closer, but he didn't mean to leave. Divorce agreement? After Dr. Montgomery was silenced for a few seconds, Dr. Shep's surprised voice rang out. Obviously, she didn't expect that she had been swearing to pester him at the beginning, but now she was just showing her hand and took out the divorce agreement. Your lawyer said there is no problem. Dr. Montgomery's calm voice rang out. I haven't signed it yet. The decision is in your hands. If you sign it, I will sign it. After signing, I will take the fastest flight to leave New York. I will sign it immediately. I want you to leave immediately. Dr. Shep said coldly. Derek, have you ever thought about a question? Dr. Montgomery smiled and said, even if I am Satan, even if I cheated on you with your best friend behind your back, I might still be the love of your life? Dr. Shep, Adam, that classic quote, I smoke, I drink, I have tattoos, but I know I am a good girl. Compared with Montgomery's famous saying, it was immediately turned into scum, right? Such an awesome declaration really stunned Adam. Who do you think you are, Black Widow? Dr. Shep, what are you waiting for? Just go up and confront her. Adam was shocked and shouted in his heart, shouting for Dr. Shep as a man, oh no, as a human being. This emotion was so strong that he, who had always been steady, couldn't help but walk out from the corner. Eavesdropping alone could no longer satisfy his growing need for gossip. He wanted to watch Dr. Shep curse out that classic saying, I have never seen such a shameless person. But something even more shocking happened. Dr. Shep watched Dr. Montgomery, who was smiling at the corner of his mouth, take the elevator and left, and just stood there in a daze, holding the divorce agreement in his hand. The hand that was about to sign immediately also stopped there. No way? Adam's mouth twitched. No way? You are not really moved by her and don't want to sign it, are you? Is Dr. Montgomery's mouth cannon really that powerful? Dr. Shep stood there for a long time with the divorce agreement, then looked up at the sky, sighed softly, put down his signing hand, and pressed the elevator down button with the divorce agreement. Adam walked over. Dr. Shep, Dr. Duncan. The two greeted each other. The elevator came. The two walked in. The elevator began to go down. The air was quiet for a while. Adam couldn't help but said, Dr. Shep, if what happened that night happens again in the future, I can help you take care of Meredith. Dr. Shep was stunned, a little puzzled, but still nodded and thank you. That night, his wife suddenly appeared, and his lover Meredith ran away. He couldn't chase her, so he asked Adam to take care of her. It was indeed a favor. Adam smiled. He was reluctant at first. After all, Meredith had a special skill of getting her belt off when drunk. If he was not careful, he would not only fail to earn the favor, but also get into trouble. The facts also proved one thing. That night, they were on high alert, but Meredith still managed to have a good time with George. Strictly speaking, it was half a favor. After all, it started well but ended badly. But after all, Dr. Shep was cheated on. Adam was a little worried before, but now it seems that it is completely unnecessary. Even if Dr. Shep knew about the affair between Meredith and George, it would not be a big deal. He seemed ready to forgive his beloved wife and best buddy for cheating on him. Not to mention, he was the one who wronged Meredith first. Meredith just had sex with him drunk because she was sad. Of course, he would forgive her 100%. This kind of risk-free favor is too easy to earn. It would be a waste not to earn it. Apartment 520. Dong dong dong, dong dong dong, dong dong dong, dong dong dong. Come in. Adam knocked on the door, and when he heard Monica's voice, he pushed the door open and walked in. What's going on? As soon as he entered the room, Adam realized something was wrong. He saw Rachel and Phoebe sitting on the couch, turning their heads to look at the door. Ross sat on the single sofa with his head down, looking a little embarrassed. Monica stood there, rubbing her hands, looking eager to try. Chandler stood behind Monica, looking a little helpless. Joey hadn't come yet. On the table, there were exquisite plates covered with beautiful covers. Apparently, the French meal that Adam asked till number 3 to order had been delivered. With the ability to pay, everything was incredibly efficient. Wait a minute. Monica stretched out her hand to Adam, pretending to wait, and then shouted to the bathroom, "Kathy, are you ready?" Right away, a young female voice came from the bathroom. "What's going on?" Adam was also a little confused for a moment. "I'm fine." Monica's cousin Kathy came out of the bathroom wrapped in a bathrobe, and then began to shake her flowing long hair. The 3 girls stared at Adam, while Ross and Chandler's eyes began to glaze over. Chapter 417, Sinful Salted Fish, 520. A beautiful woman came out in a bathrobe, shaking her wet long hair. All good men have encountered this plot, but the 5 pairs of bright eyes around her completely destroyed this familiar atmosphere. Adam glanced at her, then politely looked away and looked at the owner of the place, Monica, with his eyes. "What's going on?" Monica replied, "Let's talk later." "Kathy, this is our good friend Adam." "Adam, this is Ross and I's cousin." Monica introduced them, dragging her voice when she mentioned Ross, obviously meaning something. Ross lowered his head when he heard this. "Hi." Adam smiled and greeted. "Hi." Kathy covered her chest with her left hand, raised her right hand slightly, moved her fingers lightly, stared at Adam, and smiled at the corners of her mouth. "Ahem." Ross coughed heavily. "I'll go change my clothes first." Kathy also realized that the occasion was a bit wrong, and smiled and walked into Rachel's former room, now the guest room. Click. The moment the guest room door closed. "See, this is the normal reaction of a man." Monica jumped up immediately, waved her index fingers, pointed at Adam, and looked at Chandler and Ross. "That's it." Rachel, with her belly sticking out, complained, "What do you mean when I see her? It seems that time has slowed down." A moving melody sounded in my ears. I seemed to smell the fragrance of her hair, and Casey's whole body was glowing. "These are all lies that you are obsessed with." "I'm not lying. It's true, and I didn't mean to." Chandler and Ross hurriedly explained awkwardly. "I believe you," Rachel sneered, "because if you planned to kiss Casey, then you were really a scumbag. Damn it, she is your cousin." "Distant cousin." Seeing Adam's surprised eyes, Ross immediately shouted, "Legally, we have no problem." "Ho, ho, ho." Monica raised her hand and looked at her brother in disbelief. "Have you really thought about it seriously?" Ross was speechless and could only lower his head in embarrassment and said nothing. "He and his cousin?" Adam's mouth twitched. I didn't. Don't talk nonsense." Ross was anxious. "Who put his mouth on Casey's face?" Rachel said contemptuously. "I wonder if Monroe would believe your story if she knew." Ross's face immediately turned red. "Don't get excited," Adam comforted. "I know a man. His first time was with his distant cousin." "Really?" Ross's eyes suddenly lit up. "What's going on with them?" Monica and others also looked over in surprise. "Oh, this is what happened," Adam said with a suppressed laugh. "At that time, they were still young. At his uncle's funeral, he and his distant cousin were in the kitchen, chatting across the shelf of pickled herrings. At first, just like Ross, they didn't mean anything at all. But at a certain moment, they looked at each other, and the fire of youth immediately burned fiercely. This is too disgusting. They really did it. At his uncle's funeral." "What happened next?" Rachel and the others condemned it, but Ross got excited and started to ask questions. "Later, they went to an island car." Adam laughed. Until now, that person would get excited with guilt and embarrassment whenever he saw or smelled pickled herring. "Guilty?" Ross was dissatisfied with the word. "Yes," Adam said seriously. "That's his cousin. Isn't it guilty?" "She's a distant cousin," Ross shouted. "There's no problem with the law." "So?" Adam shrugged and said, "We didn't say there was any problem with the law, we just ridiculed him on the moral level." Ross's face darkened. Until now, if he still didn't know that Adam didn't support him at all, he would be a fool. "Ha ha ha." "Well said. We just despise you morally." "You are so confident. Do you dare to say this in public at the family reunion?" "Ross, do you dare?" Rachel and the others laughed immediately. "What are you talking about so happily?" Casey, who had changed her clothes, walked out of the guest room, There was a reason why she took so long. She dressed up carefully. Ross's long face stayed there again, looking at her infatuatedly. Adam noticed that even Chandler was absent-minded. Nothing. Monica pinched Chandler's back hard and quickly changed the subject. She had prepared a guest room for Casey to stay, but Chandler's eyes went straight when he saw Casey. She had no choice but to send Casey to Ross's place. Ross went even further and wanted to start a quarrel. Then Casey had to move back. After all, she was here, and Chandler's possibility of having problems was much lower than Ross's. But now that it has come to this, Chandler and Ross have not improved at all, and they still act like perverts all the time. It seems that Casey can't stay here anymore. A husband, a brother, and obsessed with a cousin at the same time. It's a family shame. Let's have dinner together. This is Adam's apology dinner. Monica called. Where's Joey? Adam asked curiously. Where else can he go? His girlfriend has an appointment. Monica complained. If it was tomorrow night, he could attend. But you changed it to tonight. Sorry. Adam apologized. It was really a sudden thing. Are you doctors really that busy? Phoebe asked suspiciously. Can't you even squeeze out one night? No. Adam shook his head and told Alice Gray about it. Although she still remembers medicine now, no one can tell when she will forget it, so I must pass on her experience and knowledge as completely as possible in the shortest time. Wow, you are amazing, Kathy exclaimed. For the sake of the patients, I support you. Phoebe gave a thumbs up. I didn't expect Meredith's mother. Then we will have fewer opportunities to get together in the future. Chandler shook his head. Yes. Adam nodded. But I won't miss any important moments that belong to all of us. I believe you. Chandler smiled. OMG. Rachel fanned her face with her hands, looking touched. Do you have to be so touching? I'm about to cry. Have you named the child? Leonard is very curious about this. Adam's words dispelled Rachel's emotion. Don't say such spoiling words. Rachel hit Adam unhappily. Chandler, what about you and Monica? Adam looked at the two people he valued the most. We, Monica and Chandler, were stunned, and then smiled. We just had our honeymoon for more than 2 months, so we won't consider this for the time being. That's right. Take your time. Adam smiled meaningfully. The dinner was over. Adam took Chandler to the balcony and said a few words, then left. He admired what Lily Matthew and others said. As long as they don't miss the important moments in each other's lives, best friends will always be best friends. P.S. Thanks to book friend 161106052407890 for the reward. Chapter 418. Owen Lee calls him an expert. 520. Early morning. Everyone went back to their homes. What were Adam and you whispering about on the balcony? In the bedroom, after washing up, Monica asked casually while applying skincare products. It's about Joey, Chandler explained while lying on the bed. Adam asked me to remind Joey more often not to go out and fool around anymore. His friend Barney, who is as famous as Joey in New York, has been infected with the aphrodisiac and is still receiving treatment. What? Monica was shocked. He was really infected? Adam said that if Joey doesn't pay attention, given his current fame as a soap opera actor and his dual identity as a person who has experienced it firsthand, it's a foregone conclusion that others will pay him to shoot commercials again for the public service advertisements he filmed for the hospital. Chandler complained, even if they make him the image spokesperson, it's possible. But this is aphrodisiac? Monica said speechlessly. Do you remember what happened after Joey filmed this public service advertisement even though he didn't have the aphrodisiac? Oh, of course I remember. Chandler smiled. He hasn't had a date for more than a month, and his family didn't let him go home for Christmas, for fear that he would be infected. Yeah, Monica said uncomfortably. Joey has been like this for more than 10 years, and nothing has happened. I almost forgot about it. I always feel that he is far away from us. Well, this discomfort is more of a fear. She also had many relationships in the past. The same is true for Chandler. And Chandler also had a relationship with the legendary Aurora. Aurora traveled around the world and had more than one male companion in each place. I heard that some internal diseases can lurk for many years, right? Monica thought about it and became more and more scared. We're fine. Chandler comforted her quickly. You don't know, Monica cried. What if it gets passed on to the child in the future? No. If you're worried, we can go get checked. Chandler comforted her. Adam is in the hospital. We can ask him to check for us quietly. It's very convenient. Did Adam tell you something? Monica broke away from Chandler's arms and stared at him. He asked us if we wanted to have a baby at night. Is he afraid that we will get passed on to the child? At this point, she began to emotionally condemn and blame herself. I hate you. When you first came to my house, I fell in love with you. If you had fallen in love with me at that time, we were each other's only one. Then there would be no such worries now. I hate myself too. Why was I so unrestrained in the past few years? What's wrong with waiting a few more years? Chandler had a headache. He was still in college and Monica was still in high school. They didn't know anything. How could they be each other's only one? More importantly, Monica was two people back then. How could he choose? Which one should he choose? His wife's obsessive-compulsive disorder is really killing him. No, I really don't. Chandler wanted to explain, but seeing Monica's flustered expression, he knew that words were empty. At least he couldn't sleep well tonight, so he simply pulled Monica up. What are you doing? It's already this time. I'm not in the mood. Me neither. Adam is on duty at the hospital tonight. Let's go to him quietly and ask him to help us check and eliminate all risks, so that you and we can feel at ease. Right? Okay. Monica jumped up when she heard it. Adam went back to the apartment and was about to go to the hospital when he received a call from Chandler and the others. Then come over, Adam said in surprise. After hanging up the phone, he couldn't help but smile. This was actually within his expectations. It's just that he underestimated Monica's reaction speed. It was an excuse to leak the news to Chandler and the others and lead them to the hospital to eliminate internal diseases. What he wanted was to let Chandler and Monica do a fertility test. Adam knew that Chandler was fine, but Monica really wanted her own child. Why did they break up with their beloved uncle? Wasn't it because the uncle already had a child and didn't want to have another one? Both Chandler and Monica have problems in this regard. It is very difficult to nurture the fruit of love. Even if Adam, the great cunt, flapped his wings before, let Chandler change his job as a programmer that hurt his body in advance, and dragged him to run every morning to exercise his body. But the real effect remains to be tested. If the two still have difficulty in conceiving, then time will also be an extremely critical factor. After all, the golden age for women to give birth is only a few years, and Monica is about to pass it. And as they get older, the success rate of pregnancy will become lower and lower, but the risk of pregnancy will increase step by step. This is also one of the important reasons why Chandler and Monica gave up pregnancy and chose adoption in the original time and space. At that time, they didn't have much time for them to try. Now Adam is helping them think about it. They started planning this 2 months after their wedding and honeymoon. Once the test results are not ideal, they will immediately start to pile up time. After a few years, there is still hope. What is the cost? It's just delayed airing up. All kinds of experience have been comprehensively improved, right? Owen Lee called him an expert. Medical center. Adam waited outside. Soon, Monica and Chandler hurried over. Aren't you going to draw blood? Chandler held a purple gold bowl that Tang Senzang used to obtain Buddhist scriptures in the West, and he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Adam said seriously, a comprehensive test. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up. Monica's domineering attribute was online. This time, I will make an exception and allow you to think about Casey in the bathroom. Chandler smiled bitterly. Go. I still have to take Monica for a checkup. Adam patted Chandler's shoulder and smiled. The lady has spoken. This opportunity is rare. Seize it well. Chandler had no choice but to hold the bowl of funds in disgust and go into the bathroom. Adam took Monica to other female doctors. Women are different from men after all, and it is not as convenient as men to do this kind of examination. Christina, why are you here? Adam settled Monica down and ran into Christina when he came out. He frowned immediately. Didn't I ask you to look after Dr. Gray? I want to, too. Christina shrugged and said, but she's resting now. Someone else has taken the initiative to help her. There's no point for me to stay there, so I came out to take a look around and see if there's anyone who needs me. Don't worry, I'll go over every half an hour. No problem. Someone took the initiative to help. Who? Adam asked in surprise. Go and see for yourself, Christina said with a strange look in her eyes. Adam also became interested and walked over immediately. Holy shit. When they arrived at the ward and looked inside, Adam was immediately stunned. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 419. The second is also a legendary medical center, outside the VIP ward that Adam upgraded for Alice Gray. Holy shit. Adam was dumbfounded. Now do you understand? Christina smiled and said, do you still need me to take care of you? Adam's mouth twitched and he was speechless. His eyes fell on the VIP ward again. On the bed, Alice Gray lay sideways in a man's arms, with her hands on his chest, in the sleeping position of an old couple in love. The man was wearing a white coat and his face was like a full moon. If it wasn't the fat guy George O'Malley, who else could it be? Since he had taken care of the bed, Christina didn't need to take care of him all the time. What's going on? Adam couldn't help asking. Although he had told George the story of Yin Lighting and Yang Buui before, he also knew that there were more exciting and more imaginative legends on the island country. Alice Gray mistakenly recognized George as her husband, Meredith's father, because of Alzheimer's disease. And George did have a half-story with Meredith, but he was just teasing George and the two Grays, and he didn't mean anything else. But I never expected it. Little fat George is really something. He was hospitalized in the afternoon, and just finished the operation in the evening, and they slept together directly. How long has it been? Does little fat George O'Malley have some special charm for women? Girlfriend assassin? I was shocked too, Christina complained. Originally, I took good care of Dr. Gray and stayed with her all the time, but George suddenly ran over and was scolded by Dr. Gray again, and suddenly exploded. Then what? Adam frowned. He didn't like this attitude. Alice Gray is a patient, and she didn't mean to scold you. As a doctor and a junior, how can you compete with her? If you don't want to be scolded, just don't get close. Why come to provoke Dr. Gray? This is irresponsible to the medical community and the health and well-being of mankind. Thinking of this, Adam secretly decided to teach George a good lesson in the future. I stopped him. Christina and Adam had the same purpose, so she understood Adam's displeasure at a glance and explained immediately, but he exploded too suddenly and was too emotional, so he didn't listen to me at all. Tell me what happened. Adam interrupted. George said that he didn't like Dr. Gray's attitude towards Meredith, and he wouldn't allow Dr. Gray to treat Meredith like that in the future. Christina said, I pushed George immediately and was ready to kick him out, but Dr. Gray suddenly changed his attitude, changed his previous scolding of George, and gently agreed. George then took advantage of the situation and said that Dr. Gray wouldn't be allowed to treat him like that in the future. Dr. Gray also nodded, then moved to the side, patted the bed, and asked George to go over and sleep with her. And then it's like this now. Is this the memory going back to the first few years of their marriage? Adam frowned even more tightly. For patients with Alzheimer's disease, the memory is not static, and they may be in different stages of life at any time. Most of the time, it doesn't match the reality, which is why it is commonly known as Alzheimer's disease. Of course, there will be a moment when it will match reality and wake up, but the probability is very small. After all, Dr. Gray has only been suffering from Alzheimer's disease for a few years, and the memory of the first half of her life for more than 50 years accounts for 92% of her life. It should be stimulated and the memory is switched. Christina sighed. She understood what Adam meant. For them, the most valuable thing about Dr. Gray is the experience and knowledge that she has honed in the operating room for decades. Ideally, the further back the memory goes, the better, because that way the experience and knowledge are richer. Now Dr. Gray was stimulated by George to go back to the time when she just got married to Meredith's father. According to Meredith, her father left when she was 5 years old, and her mother raised her alone for more than 20 years. In other words, more than 20 years of experience and knowledge were missing in the meantime. Moreover, it was the legendary era when Dr. Gray worked hard to perform surgery, sublimated her skills, and then created many legendary techniques. If the medical knowledge and experience were also returned, then Adam and his group would lose too much. Damn George! Christina was impressed by George's show at first. She didn't expect this level. Now that Adam had awakened him, he could no longer laugh and cursed out loud with heartache. Now we can only hope that medical knowledge and experience will not change. Adam was also very distressed and said in a deep voice, "We will confirm it tomorrow. If there is no change, it's fine. If it really changes, then we must block George from getting close to Dr. Gray in the future." Understood. Christina gritted her teeth. "Next time I see George approaching, I will definitely kick him away." Adam nodded. He knew Christina was not joking. A legendary figure like Dr. Gray has completely different values for poor students and top students. Poor students can learn a little by following him, but when facing Dr. Gray, who is in a somewhat confused state, most of the time they may not even understand. But for the talented top students with explosive ambition, once they can keep up, this opportunity to learn closely from the legend will definitely make all doctors jealous. "Adam, how can we confirm it tomorrow?" Christina said worriedly. "The reason why legends are legends is that they are awesome. Even if Dr. Gray's medical knowledge and experience really go back to more than 20 years ago. But Dr. Gray had already shown her talent more than 20 years ago. How could ordinary people test her level?" "Don't worry, I'm here," Adam said with a smile. "If I were to test the exact year of Dr. Gray, it would be a little difficult, but just roughly testing whether Dr. Gray was in more than 20 years ago, that would be too easy." Christina paused. She remembered that it was hard to say what the future achievements of the man in front of her would be, but at this moment, in all the eras of the medical community, there are really only a handful of people of this age who are more awesome than Adam. Dr. Gray is indeed a legend, but not the only legend. She agreed with Adam's words, but then she noticed the problem and looked at Adam in doubt. "Can you really test the exact year of Dr. Gray?" Adam said it was difficult, not impossible. "It's like one is making stewed tofu, the other is making silken tofu. The two are not at the same level of difficulty. If Adam can really do it, that would be too scary." Adam smiled without saying anything. Hiss. Christina took a breath and completely lost the idea of competing with Adam for the first place. But she was not frustrated. "Look up to the mountains, and follow the example of the beautiful people. If you aim high, you will get the middle. If you aim in the middle, you will get the bottom. If you aim below, you will get nothing." Facing a terrifying person like Adam, it is impossible to compete for the first place. Second place is not bad either, most likely it is also a legend. P.S. Thanks to the book friend 202005100229297344 for the reward. Chapter 420 You Can Do It. Medical Center. Adam and Christina, outside the VIP ward, observed George and Alice Gray's mother sleeping in the same bed for a while, and reached a consensus on the next action from tacit understanding to direct agreement. In the VIP ward, George O'Malley, who put one foot on the bed and one foot on the ground, did not dare to press down completely, and twisted his body uncomfortably. "Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing?" After asking three sole questions, the biggest echo in George's mind was, what will Meredith's reaction be when he sees this scene? "He is a little uncomfortable," Christina said. "He should feel uncomfortable." Adam smiled and said, "He is white and fat, like cotton, and his personality is similar. Others suspect that he is gay, but you treat him as a best friend. But you forget that he is still a man." "So?" Christina was puzzled. "So, once in a special situation, he can still turn into a jackal," Adam said playfully. "Otherwise, he wouldn't have that half-story with Meredith. He is like this with Meredith's mother now. Haha." "Oh, you mean?" Christina showed an expression of sudden enlightenment, looked at George in the ward, and complained, "Him? That's a nice thought." "No, it should be disgusting. Do all men have such absurd and disgusting thoughts?" "Of course not," Adam said righteously. "I don't know what you are talking about." "Haha." Christina smiled contemptuously. "Haha." Adam smiled and said, "Leave it to you first. I still have to take my friend to get tested. I will come to replace you later." When the nurses arrive tomorrow, We won't have to be so tired. Okay. Christina didn't pursue the topic and nodded in agreement. Adam left and found that Chandler hadn't come out yet. Knock, knock. Chandler? Adam knocked on the door. Wait a minute. Chandler's embarrassed voice came from inside. Sure. Adam looked at his watch and teased through the door. It seems that your morning run has paid off. No. Chandler was speechless. Take your time. Call me when you're done. Adam laughed. Does it have to be like this? Chandler's tangled voice came from the bathroom. Yes. Adam paused and said affirmatively. You'd better do it yourself. Otherwise I can only ask Monica or the nurse to help you. There are such nurses? Chandler was shocked. Adam suppressed a laugh and said, some nurses, like the tailor Joey introduced to you, like to do a little more and voluntarily provide more attentive services for free. You will definitely like him. As soon as he said this, the bathroom was completely silent. Chandler? Adam called tentatively. Go away. Chandler shouted. I don't need him. Haha. Adam laughed. If you don't do it quickly, I'll send him over. After that, he walked away with a smile. 10 minutes later, Chandler secretly handed Tang Senzang's purple gold bowl to Adam. Let's go. Let's go to the laboratory together. Adam didn't take it, and let Chandler take it himself, dragging Chandler to the laboratory for testing. The results came out quickly, low, but barely normal. Adam got the results and breathed a sigh of relief. What does it mean? Chandler was puzzled. It means you can have children, but you need to work hard enough. Adam smiled. What? Chandler was confused. Aren't you checking for any hidden diseases? Why are you checking this? By the way, Adam said seriously, your gonorrhea test was also done, and there is no problem. Now we are waiting for Monica. At this time, Monica also came out. It must be said that women are particularly sensitive to this aspect. Monica immediately realized Adam's intention and became more nervous. An hour later. How is it? Monica saw Adam get the test report, and her voice trembled a little. Not too good. Adam sighed. The gonorrhea test is fine, but your body is not easy to get pregnant. Ah, Monica exclaimed, and she was not feeling well. How could this happen? Chandler hugged Monica and said in disbelief, it should be because of weight loss. Adam explained, Monica was so fat at the beginning, and then in a short period of time, she lost weight to such a good figure now. She must have gone through extreme dieting, which is very harmful to the body. Of course, there are also reasons for her physical constitution. Just look at Monica's attitude towards cookies. She didn't eat any at first, but once she broke the rules, she couldn't stop at all. This shows that she still hasn't stopped dieting. Monica used to be a big girl with two people combined. In a short period of time, she became one person, which is equivalent to cutting off one person's meat. According to a girl, she weighed at least 100 pounds. What does it mean to lose 100 pounds in a short period of time? It would be strange if her body was not affected. I can't get pregnant? Monica covered her mouth with both hands and said in horror, it's not impossible. Adam comforted, it's not easy, but Chandler is normal. You just need to try more from now on and spend a few years, and you still have a great chance. Really? Monica looked at Adam eagerly. Really? Adam affirmed, and it's not without benefits. What benefits? Monica said anxiously. From now on, you can drive dangerously. Adam smiled. It saves money and is exciting. Chandler, let's go back. Monica dragged Chandler out. You are not allowed to sleep tonight. Oh, no. From tonight on, if I'm not pregnant, you can't sleep well. Didn't we agree not to think about this now? Chandler resisted. We just had our honeymoon not long ago. Anything, once it's too much, it will no longer be fun. Just like the men near the kingdom of women, calling it the kingdom of women, there is no fragrance and taste, and they all say it is a terrifying place. And the fact is indeed so. When Tang Seng entered the kingdom of women, the first person he met was an old woman. The old woman said very clearly that if she was not too old, she would definitely ask for sex like other women in the kingdom of women. If he refused, she would tear him into pieces and make a sachet out of each man. But if he obeyed, he would die. Jia Rui held the Fenai Ubejian and called him an expert. The reason why there were no men in the kingdom of women was not because there were really no men who could go there, but because no man could survive the hands of a juicer in the country. One person died if he left, two people died if they left, As long as the number of people who went together was not enough, they would die. Similarly, how could Chandler be happy when facing Monica, who had turned into a juicer? Don't talk nonsense. Monica didn't listen at all. Originally, she could give Chandler time and take his time, but now she knew that time was running out and she had to race against time. Chandler staggered as he was dragged, and looked back at Adam with a look full of complaints. "You can do it." Adam stretched out his hand and clenched his fist to cheer him up. Chapter 421. I treat you as a friend, but you want to be my dad? The next day, medical center. After Adam finished examining Dr. Gray, Christina beside him got the answer from Adam's eyes and couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, George, the little fat boy, just pulled Dr. Gray's emotions back to more than 20 years ago. Dr. Gray's knowledge and experience have always remained at the peak. So is it. George was mistaken for Zach, and he didn't care about Dr. Gray, and there was no comparison with her favorite medicine. Zach, don't disturb Dr. Gray's work. Come out with me. Adam smiled. Yes, don't disturb me. Dr. Gray nodded. George had no choice but to follow Adam out. When he turned around and wanted to say something to Dr. Gray, he saw Christina blocking him. Her little eyes were full of hurry up and leave. Don't make trouble, or I'll beat you up. How did you sleep last night? It was pretty good, huh? Adam's eyes were full of teasing. After getting the good news, his dissatisfaction with George dissipated by half. Originally prepared to punish George, now it was reduced to teasing and joking. Adam, it's not what you think. George's chubby face instantly turned red. No need to explain to me. Adam waved his hand to interrupt. He was also an old yin-yang master. He was familiar with the rhetoric of no need to explain to me. Explanation is covering up, and covering up is the truth. Can you not tell Meredith? George said in a dilemma. Of course I have no problem, but do you think Christina would hide such explosive news from Meredith? Adam teased. And you guys are fine. What can't be said? Zach, George was in a bad mood. Don't worry, Adam smiled. Meredith won't mind. Really? George's eyes lit up. Of course, she may wish you were Zach now, Adam said seriously. This way you can take care of Dr. Gray without her. Adam. George was a little annoyed by being teased all the time. Okay. Adam raised his hand. To be honest, if I were you, I would ask Dr. Gray what brand of cologne Zach uses. Why? George was stunned. Women who have lacked fatherly love since childhood have a little bit of daddy complex. Adam smiled and said, scientific research shows that when dating such a woman, spraying the same cologne as the woman's father will increase the chance of tricking such a woman into bed tenfold. After saying that, he left George, who was deep in thought, and walked away quickly. Adam was worried that if he didn't leave, he would not be able to hold back his laughter. Beverly once passed this scientific research to his son Leonard. Leonard did go to bed with Penny that night, but whether he sprayed the same cologne as Penny's father is still to be discussed. And Meredith is different from Penny. For her father Zach, who left her at the age of 5, her daddy complex is not necessarily greedy for the smell of her father. It may also be discussed. Green Clinic. Adam. Rachel came to the medical center for a checkup yesterday? Leonard complained. Why didn't you tell me? Rachel told me not to tell you. Adam smiled and said, she's fine, so I didn't tell you. After all, it doesn't matter whether I find you or me. Leonard was stunned, then nodded and smiled. That's true. He took so much effort to accept Adam's approach and tried his best to help Adam grow up. Wasn't it just for this moment? After all, he is getting older. If Rachel and the others encounter medical incidents in the future, it is indeed Adam who should be found, not him. Adam did this first and pointed it out first, which really made him very relieved. How is the name of Rachel's child? Leonard was in a good mood, and he couldn't control the arc of his mouth. He couldn't help but pull Adam to chat. If it's a boy, I'll name him Adam Green, as long as my grandson is half as good as you. Adam. I don't even care if he's an illegitimate child. She has this idea. Adam's mouth twitched, but Chandler and Monica reserved it first. That won't work, Leonard said dissatisfiedly. Why did they reserve it first? Do they have children? Not yet. Adam shook his head. But they are trying. That's it. Leonard waved his hand. They are your friends, and Rachel is also your friend. If Rachel gives birth to my grandson, He will be named Adam Green. I say. Adam's mouth twitched, speechless. If it was in the East Country, and it was Rachel and Ross who said this, Adam would have beaten them up long ago. I treat you as friends, but you want to be my parents? Take advantage of me. You are looking for death. But this is not the East Country, but the United States. The tradition of the United States is to name children after relatives, friends or people you like. This is not humiliation. It is recognition. It is inheritance. It is honor. For example, in The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and Amy's son is named Leonard Cooper. Sheldon was originally going to add a middle name, Nimoy. It was taken from the last name of Leonard Nimoy, Sheldon's favorite TV character, who played Spock in Star Trek. But this middle name was rejected by Amy. According to her original words, you should be content with being named Leonard. Obviously, Amy didn't want her son to be called Leonard. Because they hang out together every day, they will definitely have to call each other Leonard. It would be too embarrassing if the ignorant people mistakenly thought that little Leonard was Leonard and her son. But there was no way. Sheldon insisted. Leonard did pay too much for Sheldon. No matter how unhappy Amy was, she could only bear it and accept this potentially embarrassing name. To say this kind of honor for Leonard, it's not much worse than Sheldon thanking him at the Nobel Prize ceremony. At first, Leonard was very happy. He just felt that it was worth it to be tortured by Sheldon for almost 20 years. But when Sheldon gave an explanation, his feeling of being touched instantly vanished. Leonard, I know you will never win a Nobel Prize in your lifetime, but my son will definitely win one. Then your name will be written into the history of the Nobel Prize in disguise. Sheldon said bluntly. So, don't be grateful to me. Grateful to you? I just want to strangle you to death, or blow your head off with the force. Fortunately, Leonard is also an old ninja, and he just expressed it with his eyes. And Sheldon's interpretation of this is that Leonard is grateful to him. Perfect. He is such a good friend. It is precisely because of this custom that Adam can only accept his friend's strong recognition of him with a wry smile, hoping that a situation will never occur in the future. A group of friends, Adam. A group of children. Hey, Dad, Mom. Adam. Peas. Some people have always suspected that the author has saved manuscripts. The first episode of the 4th season of Young Sheldon just aired yesterday. What can better prove the author's innocence than this chapter? Chapter 422. Who is the most beautiful kid in the medical center? Medical center. Adam finally got rid of the shadow of his friends naming their children after him, and went to the ward to find his favorite case. Then he was hit hard again. Duncan, you don't have to take care of this case. I'll let Gray take care of it. Dr. Bailey made a decision. Okay. Adam left with a wry smile. What's going on? Adam Duncan was kicked out of the case he took over again. Unbelievable. Dr. Bailey is really a Nazi. There is nothing to say about fairness. He will teach you a lesson no matter who you are. I also saw her arguing with the director, and the director gave in. She is a role model of morality in the medical center. I'm not kidding. Yes. She will be the chief resident in the future. I will definitely support her. As soon as Adam left, all kinds of discussions continued to spread. Most of them were gloating over Adam's misfortune and deeply admired Dr. Bailey. At noon, cafeteria. You were really kicked out by Dr. Bailey. Liz was surprised. Why this time? She was not surprised that Dr. Bailey kicked Adam out, but was curious about the reason. This is the charm of Dr. Bailey. Whether you like her or not, you all agree that she is fair and capable. That is to say, the position of chief resident has not been vacated, otherwise she would be the first candidate. Chief resident is not a job title, but an administrative position, responsible for managing all residents. You need enough popularity so that all residents will think of the chief resident first when they encounter difficulties. Otherwise, this job cannot be done. Of course, with responsibility comes power. The chief resident can coordinate the operating room, assign the work of residents, and participate in important meetings of the hospital. He can be called a small director, which is an important resume for promotion to director in the future. It has always been a hot position for ambitious and senior residents. Being ranked the most popular in this hot position has already explained everything. Dr. Bailey naturally has her reasons. George was a little gloating, and this reason must be convincing. I believe in Dr. Bailey. What a strong cologne. Adam glanced at him. Did you change to a new model today, Dot? George's pale face suddenly turned black. That's right. He is a person who believes in science. He listened to what Adam said to him, just like those old people, no matter how rational they were in the past. At this age, they are easily fooled by those healthcare product manufacturers and various advertisements that claim to be health-preserving, because this is their rigid demand for a healthy lifespan. George's desire for Meredith, not to mention that Adam said it was a scientific research result, even if it was a folk legend or a folk remedy, he would still be willing to try it. Isn't it just a different brand of cologne? He always has to use it. It doesn't matter which one he uses. So, he secretly asked Alice Gray. He really asked it. Taking advantage of the break time, he went to the store next to the hospital to buy a new one, and then shook it in front of Meredith. But something happened that made him angry. Meredith did not show interest, but frowned in disgust and asked him why he changed this cologne. George, who was disliked by the goddess for having a strong smell, was heartbroken. This is also the reason why he showed obvious gloating over Adam's misfortune, although he didn't know that Adam had intentions. But it didn't prevent him from being happy to see Adam unlucky. It's better to be unlucky together than to be unlucky alone. I'll change it tomorrow. George looked at Meredith, who came over with a plate and frowned and stopped when he saw him. He felt so wrong that he wanted to cry and said angrily, "Okay, Meredith, you took Adam's case." Liz smiled at Meredith, who sat down. "How can I take his case?" Meredith shook her head and said, "It's because he is not suitable to take over this case." "What case?" Liz asked curiously. "Carrie Lodge, 23 years old, blushing syndrome and high fever." Christina continued, "Dr. Shept will perform a neurosurgery this afternoon. It's a very interesting case." "Adam, if I were you, I would argue with you. It's not just you who makes her blush. Dr. Shept can do it too. He's her attending physician." "What?" Liz almost spit out her food. "She blushes whenever she sees a handsome guy?" "No." Meredith had a look of pity on her face. "She blushes whenever her heartbeat is too fast, and a blush reveals her thoughts to everyone, so even if this surgery may have serious side effects, she will do it without hesitation. The back, abdomen, and thighs will have compensatory sweating, and eating may also cause sweating." Adam said, "Less than 1% of patients will also suffer from facial nerve paralysis, spinal nerve damage, pneumothorax and hemitrax. Once it happens, it can be said to be very serious." "Just to treat blushing," Christina said, "if it were me, I would never risk being paralyzed to let someone touch my brain. If I'm moved, then I'm moved. What's so shameful about it?" "That's something none of us have experienced," Meredith retorted. "We can't really understand her despair." "Christina, it's hard to say if it were you," Adam reminded. "Just imagine, once you encounter a case and surgery that you are particularly interested in, wouldn't you be moved?" "As long as you are moved, your heartbeat speeds up, and your face becomes red and hot. This state is indeed nothing to be ashamed of. But it will inevitably affect the quality of your surgery, right?" "Oh." Christina was stunned, then nodded. "Okay, now I feel involved. If it were me, I might be more entangled. Not having the surgery will affect my ability. Having the surgery will still affect my ability. As a female doctor who aspires to become a legend, this is really an extremely painful choice." So, George was stunned. The reason why Adam was kicked out of this case by Dr. Bailey was because the patient blushed when he saw Adam? "Yes." Meredith nodded. "The patient blushes when she sees both Adam and Dr. Shept?" Liz gossiped. "Which one makes her blush more?" "Interesting topic," Christina said leisurely. "Who is the most handsome guy in the medical center?" "How can you compare?" Meredith said unhappily. "Everyone has different aesthetic standards." "Okay, my bad." Christina shrugged and said, "Change the question." In Carrie Lodge's eyes, who is the most handsome guy in the medical center, Dr. Miracle or Mr. Dream? Adam's mouth twitched. Why does this sound so awkward? No one knows? Christina teased. The patient can tolerate Dr. Shept, but can't tolerate Adam. He almost had a high fever again, so that Adam was directly driven away by Dr. Bailey without any respect for martial arts, emotion, and morality. Face. Isn't the result obvious? Chapter 423 Director's Track. Medical Center. Cafeteria. Is it really that exaggerated? Liz said in disbelief, blushing to the point of having a high fever. Not exaggerated at all, Christina joked. When she met Dr. Shept, she just fanned herself with her hands to cool down, but when it came to Adam, fanning him with her hands to cool him down had no effect at all. His face was as red as blood, his breathing became rapid, and he began to feel dizzy. Adam is not Michael Jackson, George said speechlessly. Did anyone really faint from excitement when watching him? You can accept fans fainting because of Michael Jackson's singing and dancing, but you can't accept female patients blushing and having a high fever because Adam is so handsome and attractive, Christina said in surprise. Aren't they all sick? You'll get beaten if you say that, Adam interrupted. Okay, let's stop talking about these meaningless topics. Meredith, did you bring those videotapes and medical notes of Dr. Gray? I brought a few videotapes. Meredith frowned. Are you sure this will work? Worth a try. Adam frowned. Only a few? Only videotapes, no medical notes? Try bringing a few first. Meredith's eyes flashed. Too many are inconvenient to carry, huh? Adam raised his eyebrows. Something was wrong with Meredith. Did she not want to hand over these precious surgical videotapes to help the enemy? And the medical notes? Adam didn't believe that the legendary female Dr. Alice Gray would not leave any medical notes. Meredith not only blurred the issue of medical notes, but was even unwilling to mention it. The problem here is obviously bigger, but on second thought, Adam could understand it. If Meredith really didn't want to help the enemy, then compared to the surgical videotapes, the medical notes are obviously more precious. Why? These surgical videotapes are selected copies of Alice Gray's surgeries in various places, and the originals are actually left in various hospitals. As long as you are willing to collect them, you can actually get them. But medical notes are different. That is Alice Gray's personal summary, which must contain her summary of various surgeries and her expectations of some cutting-edge pioneering surgeries. Once you meet the right person, such as Adam, if you thoroughly understand the contents and work hard to study those cutting-edge and groundbreaking surgical ideas, you may be able to create a new series of surgical procedures named after you. It will shock the world. It will create a legend. This is the real treasure. If it were Adam, he would probably keep it secret. But understanding is understanding. This trend cannot be allowed to grow. Adam narrowed his eyes, and various routines flashed in his mind to make Meredith willingly hand over the medical notes. Meredith lowered her head guiltily, not daring to look at Adam. She had never thought of this level. Aiding the enemy? She was not the ambitious Christina. She had no intention of competing with Adam. The reason why she was so vague and unwilling to answer was that she went back last night to look through the surgical videotapes and medical notes piled up by her mother at home and discovered an amazing secret. Her mother actually had a lover. Well, why she said that, she didn't know, but this was not the point. The point was that it seemed that her father left her that year, and it couldn't be blamed entirely on her father. And the third person between her parents was actually the chief surgeon Richard. From time to time, the medical notes would include details about her mother and Richard's cigarettes, which would make even an old driver like her blush, and most of the time, it was her mother who took the initiative. How could she let others see such a family shame? If someone knew her and read her mother's medical notes, would they have any bad associations? For example, like father, like son, like daughter. These distracting thoughts were quickly thrown behind her mind. Director. Meredith felt sick when she thought of her respected uncle, who was actually such a person. Adam, are you really going to take the surgical videotape to consult Dr. Gray? Liz reminded. After all, she has Alzheimer's disease. Even if she remembers medicine, if she says something wrong, you will also learn the wrong thing. Isn't that very dangerous? Yes, George echoed. This is irresponsible to the patient. How dare you? It doesn't matter. Adam smiled and said, I can tell right from wrong, but what you said makes sense. In order to be more responsible to the patient, you should not participate. After all, how dare you? George and Liz paused. Haha. Christina couldn't help laughing out loud. This is a precious surgical videotape with the director's track. Are you sure you don't want to watch it together? Adam looked at her with appreciation. The metaphor of the director's track version is quite interesting. American movies are producer-centered, and most directors do not have the final editing rights. The importance of editing is needless to say. The same movie, with different editing, can express two completely opposite meanings. When a movie is released, the release version that reflects the producer's will is shown. Many times, directors are very dissatisfied with this, thinking that the public release version is rubbish and does not reflect the profound connotations he wants to express at all. In order to make money, many companies are willing to give directors a chance after the public release, allowing them to release their own director's cut version or director's audio commentary version, and then use this gimmick to sell videotapes like crazy. After all, if it is exactly the same as the public release version, why should those who have seen the movie spend so much more money to buy videotapes? There are even companies whose moral integrity is shattered to the ground, adding a few seconds, tens of seconds or minutes of scenes that were cut in the public release version, and dare to say that watching it will give a completely different experience, and rescreening it in theaters to make a lot of money. In The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and others, whether it is the new public release version with a few seconds added, or the director's cut version videotape, director's audio commentary version videotape, as long as the film company dares to sell it, they will never miss it. It has always been a standard process to spend money to watch or buy it seriously, and after watching it, write comments and feelings and post them online, and discuss with fans. Why? Isn't it just Sheldon and the others who are crazy about it? Let's talk about the surgical videotape. This is recorded in real time, and there is no editing. But different doctors have completely different understandings of the surgical videotape. Some are deep, some are shallow. It's like the public release version edited by countless producers with different abilities. The screening effect is completely related to their own abilities. The surgeon in charge of the surgical videotape is Alice Gray. Once Alice Gray personally explains it, it will be a director's audio commentary version, for doctors who really love medicine and have ambition and drive. The director's audio version of the precious surgical videotape is really rare, because this version has a lower limit. No matter how poor a person's ability is, as long as he follows and learns honestly, once he learns, he won't be too bad. P.S. Thanks to book friends 1611060524078890. Gay is really good. Zabai with a dark heart. Hahaha 627. And Lord Solar Storm for their rewards. There are more today. Chapter 424. Hard Body and Integrity. Medical Center. Afternoon. Duncan, come here. Dr. Bailey called. What's up? Dr. Bailey. Adam walked over quickly. Carrie Lodge's surgery is done. Dr. Bailey said, she's going to wake up soon. We need to test the results of the surgery. I think no one is more suitable for this job than you. Okay, Adam said without hesitation. Ward. Hi. Carrie Lodge slowly woke up from anesthesia and greeted Meredith. Is it over? Yeah, the surgery was successful. Meredith smiled and said, we're just continuing to observe your condition. Dr. Shept will come over to check you soon. Say it again. Carrie Lodge paused. What? Meredith was puzzled. Say his name. Dr. Shept, Carrie explained, and then found that her face was not as hot as usual, and immediately shouted in surprise, OMG, look at my face. It's not red at all. You're fine. Meredith smiled and said, I will never blush and miss my husband again. At this time, Adam walked in. Dr. Duncan. Carrie looked over, and then she realized something was wrong. She reached out and touched her face, and said in horror, my face is red again. Did the operation fail? Meredith's face was heavy. Don't be nervous. Adam stepped forward, checked it, and comforted. The operation only reduced the effect of your sympathetic nerve conduction excitement to the lowest level, not completely blocked it. Your current blush is not the kind of blush that can cause high fever and dizziness at the beginning, but just the blush of an ordinary person. The operation was successful. Really? Carrie seemed to believe it. Really? Adam smiled and said, it's not your fault, it's my fault. Haha. Carrie's hand touching her face has not felt the exaggerated heat before, and she feels much more at ease, and can't help but smile. Meredith also breathed a sigh of relief. I'll ask Dr. Shept to check you out. Since it was about his surgery, Dr. Shept came quickly. The results of the examination were just as Adam said. The surgery was successful and there were no problems. Christina, who got the news, smiled and said, Dr. Miracle and Mr. Dream have a big charm competition. Are you convinced this time? George and Liz rolled their eyes and didn't want to answer at all. At night, Adam's money ability was used, and Dr. Gray's office was completed quickly. All 6 nurses came sincerely to participate in the great cause of taking care of the legendary Dr. Gray. Alice Gray was also moved from the VIP ward. Dr. Gray, these are some of the surgical tapes you have performed. We hope you can explain to us your original ideas for the surgery and teach us some practical experience. Adam requested. Alice Gray frowned and said, I don't have that much time to teach those interns who know nothing. You are the only one who can do it. Thank you. Adam raised his lips, and calmed down the indignant Christina with his eyes, and said tactfully, Dr. Gray, I was wrong just now. I am your only student. They are all interns under me. They are just auditing and doing odd jobs. If they have any questions, I will answer them and will not waste your precious time. Okay. Dr. Gray nodded calmly, and then pointed to Meredith, who was leaning against the door and trying to hide her presence. But she is not allowed to be here, Mom. Meredith looked at Dr. Gray in disbelief. At first, she did refuse Adam's approach, but now that things have come to this, she doesn't want to pretend anymore. As for what Adam said, start over with your mother, let her accompany you, help you, and witness your growth. She actually yearned for it in her heart. That's why she stood here. After all, it's time to get off work. If she doesn't want to, no one can force her. But she didn't expect that she didn't pursue her mother's affair with Richard, the chief surgeon, which caused her to lack fatherly love at the age of 5 and live with her single mother in the hospital. Her mother became even more aggressive and said such hurtful words. Thinking of this, her eyes were red. She is a child. I don't want to work with her, Alice Gray said coldly without noticing. In her memory, Meredith has always been a child. Children should play on the side. How can you disturb her when she is working? Dr. Gray, Meredith is no longer a child. I am sure of this. Adam paused. If anyone's child has this skill of 100% drunken belt falling off, I am afraid they will be like Li Jing, the general of Chantanguan, who killed his relatives for the sake of justice. Of course, if they meet Li Jing, who will 100% be caught by the knife with bare hands, that is another matter. Suppressing this distracting thought, Adam continued, she has completed medical school and has become a qualified intern. If you don't believe me, you can test her. After speaking, he winked at Meredith. Christina also immediately walked from Dr. Gray's side to Meredith's side and whispered to remind her, she is a patient. You should accommodate her. Okay. Dr. Gray glanced at Adam and nodded. Let me ask you. Meredith wanted to ignore her mother's question, but under Christina's pull, she also had the idea of slapping her mother in the face, so she suppressed her resentment and answered her mother's questions with full concentration. Although Dr. Gray has always looked down on her daughter, but after all, they are mother and daughter. How could her mother's strong medical talent not be inherited at all? Meredith's talent in medicine is naturally not as good as her mother's, but it is also first class. This is why she used to be so romantic and had so much fun. But she was able to rank among the top students in Harvard Medical School and become best friends with the top student Christina. However, as Dr. Gray increased the difficulty of the vertical straight line to nearly 90 degrees, Christina, who subconsciously answered the question in her mind, began to frown, and Meredith was naturally stuck. After all, her talent is not as good as the talented and hard-working top student Christina. That's it, Dr. Gray said coldly. Meredith's face flushed. Liz looked at her sympathetically. Having such a mother is simply a headache. Just 2 words can break one's heart. George couldn't help but want to turn into Dr. Gray's husband Zach again and stop Dr. Gray like he did last night. But Adam glared at him, and then his vision was completely blocked by Adam, who stood over Dr. Gray. This question is beyond the knowledge of an intern. It's normal that Meredith can't answer it. Adam tried to smooth things over and said, as their mentor, this question should be answered by me. Then he said the answer, Dr. Gray, they are following me and will not disturb your normal work. Adam smiled and said, I promise. Okay. Dr. Gray nodded. Your intern. You are responsible, Let's get started. Meredith, who is your child? Faced with such a huge difference in attitude, she would rather her mother ignore it. Hemipelvic resection. Adam pressed the play button, and the specially placed large-screen TV immediately showed the image of an operation. The young Dr. Gray was wearing a mask, so her face could not be seen clearly. However, her determined, confident, and calm eyes that were almost indifferent showed her charm to the fullest. As the elderly Gray beside him narrated, Adam and others put all their energy into it, including Meredith. P.S. Thanks to book friends 16110605240789 and Jazbegia for their rewards. Chapter 425, When the Top Student Meets the Genius Medical Center. The first night, Adam, Christina, Meredith, George, and Liz participated. The second night, Bianca, who was on duty last night, the shameless bald Chris, and the fat white Stu also joined. The third night, hey, do you have any connections? What connections? A relationship with Adam Duncan, or Meredith Gray? At worst, Christina Yang will be fine. Oh, you mean the thing about them watching surgical videos together? I'm not interested. We can't even handle our own business. Why should we go through that trouble? You're right. But can you do me a favor? What favor? I want to switch my shifts with you. What do you think? Sorry, that's not possible. Why? You don't want to help with such a small matter? Are you still my friend? We are friends, but I have plans in my spare time and I can't change my shifts. What do you have to do at that time? A date. You can't let me be single just to watch some shitty video for you. Can't we have a date at a different time? No, it's already been planned. If it doesn't work this time, then what about next time? We'll keep switching shifts from now on. Can't you just talk to your girlfriend about it? Still not. My girlfriend's working hours coincide perfectly with my shifts. Night fell. Outside Gray's office. WTF? Exclamation mark. Hi, didn't you say you were going on a date with your girlfriend? Yes, I'm dating my girlfriend. Your girlfriend is your left hand? Exclamation mark. Don't be ridiculous. As doctors, we don't have the time and energy to date other girlfriends besides our hands. It's too tiring to date two, so we can only choose one. In that case, why did your date have to be at this time, and in this place? Exclamation mark. I can't help it. My girlfriend has always been curious about our profession. She thinks surgical dissection is too exciting. It just so happens that there is a surgical video here, so she begged me to take her to see it. She said that if I agree, she will give me benefits when she goes home at night. I can't refuse this. You know, there is another thing. I'll tell you secretly. In fact, I am also very frustrated, because I suspect that she came to see handsome men and beautiful women. Alas, but there is no way. I only have this girlfriend. No matter what she does, I can only choose to forgive her. What do you think? What is wrong with this world? What about the trust between people? The doctor who was shown off by his friends, how could he not know that he was fooled? His friend said that watching the surgical videotape together was bullshit, and he found all kinds of reasons not to exchange shifts with him, so he could only sneak over to watch for a while during his shift break. But he was still too naive and forgot one thing. His friend was born in the year of the dog. To him, shit doesn't stink at all, but smells especially good. The reason why he didn't want to exchange shifts was that his shift time was exactly the same as Adam's, and this activity of watching the surgical videotape together couldn't be held without Adam. It could only be held when Adam was off duty and resting. This was also the reason why he wanted to exchange shifts with him. But he didn't expect. This world is too dangerous. There are bad people in society. Facing Zyur's smiling friend, he could only raise two middle fingers, and then look into the office, which was crowded with people. Many of them didn't even have seats, so they just found a place to sit and watched intently. As time went by, more and more people like them who couldn't get in and stood outside directly. Beep, beep. When the pager rang, he smiled awkwardly and left in the eyes of everyone. As a doctor, no one is stupid, and they all know that this opportunity is hard to come by. So those who can find a way and have a good relationship with Adam and others all went into the office through the back door in advance. They, who are a step slower, can only stand outside the office and wait for someone's pager to ring and leave to grab a seat. It was early in the morning. The director's audio commentary ended at night. People left in twos and threes. Adam. Stephen Murphy walked out with a complicated expression. Did you come to the right place? Alice walked side by side with him, pretending not to hear the super spare tires murmur, and smiled. A legendary female doctor personally explains each of her classic surgical procedures. How rare is this opportunity? Even you can't imagine it, right? Yeah. Stephen Murphy nodded. If you want a legendary doctor like Gray to be such a teacher, no amount of money will be enough, or to be more precise, no one can and no one is willing to pay such a high price, just to follow a legendary doctor and study hard to become an excellent doctor. He felt that he was the closest to this condition. His father was the chairman of Murphy Pharmaceuticals, and he himself was a super-rich second generation, but he was willing to work hard to become a doctor. But even if his father supported him to become a doctor, he couldn't do such a weird thing as paying an unimaginable price and inviting a legend to be his teacher. It can only be said that this opportunity was too coincidental. If it weren't for such a legendary doctor, such a special disease, such a genius brain hole, and Adam's money ability and execution ability, such an opportunity would not appear. By the way, this opportunity is so rare. How did you get it? And you can take me with you. Stephen suddenly thought of some doctor's complaints about not being able to join before, and said in surprise. Alice's eyes flashed, and she smiled. We are all classmates in the medical school. Even if you and Adam had some unpleasantness before, didn't you talk it out? Adam is a generous person and supports doctors who are willing to make progress. Isn't it normal for us to join? That's right. Stephen smiled embarrassedly. Adam is indeed a generous person. I was wrong. I always heard them say that the quota is hard to get, and they all want to find connections to get in, but they've forgot that we are classmates in the medical school. Hee. Alice smiled unnaturally. The smile was a little strange. Gray's office. Everyone who should leave has left, leaving only Adam, Christina and others. Adam, I have a suggestion, Christina said. I plan to buy a camera to record the whole process of our lectures, which will also facilitate our review. What do you think? Do you need it? Adam said in surprise. Yes. Meredith, Liz, George and others shouted in unison. Not everyone is as perverted as you, with a high-definition picture memory. You and Dr. Gray talked too deeply and too far. We couldn't keep up. Not only us, even Christina couldn't keep up. The three of them complained one after another. Christina looked a little embarrassed. It was like a top student meeting a genius. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.